always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Live from downtown San Francisco, this is 95.7 The Game.
All right, good morning, everyone. What is going on? We have a full squad for perhaps one of the last Warriors this week of the season because Evan Giddings,
Bite
Dan
your
DeVoe,
tongue, man.
Steven Risotto, a.k.a. Pasta.
This thing's just getting started. Got a whole nother month of basketball. Through the play-in, off to the playoffs, second round, semifinals. Come on, man.
Dude, you've been the doom and gloom guy for the last 3 weeks. Where is this source of excitement come? Is it were you up at Golden One last night?
It's the postseason, baby.
It's not the postseason yet. We got one more regular season game. It's tomorrow.
And the play-in isn't necessarily, quote-unquote, the postseason. It's the play-in, whatever the hell that is.
You know what sucks about the play-in? Well, there's a lot of things. But one thing about it is, let's say Curry goes for 100.
Doesn't count.
Like, where does that go?
In the ether.
No one's ever going to have that record. It's not going to go into the Basketball Hall of Fame. Jeez, Pasta. You just turned the lights up and blinded me in the first minute of the show.
It's like we're being interviewed by the KGB.
I didn't even know you could do that. I mean, I appreciate the light on my face, and I must say, you and I, Dan, look pretty good. I've often said that we're the best looking show.
Lighting is good when you're on television. See, this is
We're
radio
not on
thing.
television. We're on radio.
But we're on YouTube or what have you. See, this is the difference between radio and people that come up through television is that radio people are just like, keep it dark. I just want to get in my little cranky world. I got a baseball hat on, haven't showered or shaved in the last 2 days. Rawr! Television people are, give me light, more light. Let me shine.
Well, why are you describing Pasta? He's sitting in a dark studio with a baseball hat, and he probably hasn't showered in 2 days.
So when you wake up in the morning, how do you decide what lid that you're going to put on your hat?
Especially when you wake up at 2:30.
How does he decide?
The first one I see.
He goes Arizona. That's just so random. There's no meaning behind it?
No, he's got
No
a lot
meaning.
of hats.
I got it in Arizona at the Diamondbacks game.
Well, that's not the question. The question is how you wake up in the morning and decide which hat you want to wear.
There's like a row in my closet, and I go eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
You know, when that stadium opened, I'll never forget because
You'll grow up one day, Pasta.
I went to the University of Arizona, and when that stadium opened, what's it called out there in Arizona? Does it have a name?
The stadium, which one?
Arizona.
Chase Field?
Chase?
No, Arizona. I think it's changed.
Oh, U of A? Oh, like the football field?
No, the Snakes, the
Chase
Diamondbacks
Field.
play at Chase Field?
Yes.
In Phoenix.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I have no idea. All right,
And then
thank you.
is the basketball arena, it's some casino, I want to say. Something resort.
It's
It's Talking Stick Resort.
really?
Walking Stick Resort.
It's hard to keep track of these things. It
Some
change
big
every
stick
other week.
resort.
But I remember when they put that pool in, I was like, I got to get my U of A buddies and go back there for a reunion. We just got to rent that pool.
You guys got in the pool?
Yeah, I got in the pool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know.
Was there a home run hitting there during the game?
It was not a home run hitting there, and it's a good time. At least, because at the time it was so novel, man. It was like a swimming pool in Arizona during a baseball game. Hell yeah.
Well, up until that point, I want to say that there was only one other pool in professional baseball inside a stadium because in Frisco, I forget what the stadium is called now.
Frisco, Texas.
Frisco, Texas, yeah,
You're
yeah.
not bastardizing San Francisco.
Well, that's better than San Fran. Like everyone,
Either one's terrible.
you don't like Frisco?
Come on.
I mean, I don't use it that often, but it's better than the alternative. I feel like I see a ton of people like, oh, who was in town the other week? Came into the city and was like, San Fran. Whenever any big rock band or a group or artist comes in town, like, I love San Fran. I love San Fran.
Bill Simmons?
Maybe it was Bill Simmons. Oh, it might have been Van Lathan who was doing the podcast with him. But everyone puts on their best face just to not cringe at him. Like, I heard Kendrick Lamar do it at Outside Lands a couple years ago. He's like, man, I got a lot of love for San Fran, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right, well, we'll just have to let it slide.
You would think that there'd be a minion or someone like a PR person that would blow in their ear before every city and say, okay, this is what you do or do not say, whether you're going to Detroit, wherever. There's little nuances that you got to know, right? Like you don't want to alienate the crowd within the first 2 minutes.
No, but I do have to say that, you are a city person. You guys are a little weird about it. Like, why should I have to say the entire name of a city? Whenever I go to anywhere else, I don't have to say the full city. You go to Los Angeles. I'm in L.A. I go to San Diego. I'm in SD. You know, I don't have to say the full. How many letters are in there? 12?
If you see or greet the king or queen of England, do you bow and genuflect?
Jesus.
Of course you do. Hey. The answer would be yes. What's funny is that when I grew up, it was either San Francisco or the city, the only two references. And then when I started going to New York, there's only one city. Like if you were to refer to San Francisco as the city, they'd be like, bro, there's only one city. It's New York. But I always thought of San Francisco. It's either you call it San Francisco or the city.
Yeah, but I'd be like, yeah, it's when New York, New York. But I also would only refer to it by whichever borough I'm in. I would never talk about like, hey, I'm going to New York City. Like, to me, if I'm in the city, it's because I'm here in the Bay Area and I'm talking about the city, or I'm talking about. You can take a kid out of Brooklyn, but you can't. What's this? That was from last week. Thanks, Pasta. But yeah, I would never go to a place and assume that. I would never go to another place and be like, yeah, I'm from the town, and expect them to know where that's from, right? The town's Oakland, the city's San Francisco. That's a Bay Area verbiage kind of deal. But for me to not be able to, we learned this word this week, Pasta, to not be able to truncate your long name, like you got to give me something. Frisco is fine.
No, are you kidding me? So where were you going with Frisco, Texas? What'd you do out there?
Oh yeah, that's
By the way, who went
that's how we got there. Well, we were talking about...
Who introduced you to truncate?
Well, I know the word truncate, but I was trying to introduce it to a couple of people at the station who are extremely long-winded.
Take your pick.
Yeah.
That's a long list.
So, I was in Frisco, Texas. There's this thing called...
So what did Sam Lubman do now?
Shut up, man. I was in the Lazy River. And I forget what the ballpark is called, but it
Writers Field?
Right? No.
Formerly Dr. Pepper Ballpark.
That's the one. Dr. Pepper Ballpark. Peter Pepper picked a peck of pickled peppers. So I was there in 2019, right before the pandemic, and we had to shoot these little, promotional videos to post on social media, go on local TV networks, and I got to do one of the reads from in the pool. Like you kind of float down the river and you're like, hey, come on out. Opening night is on April 2nd at the Lazy River down by Dr. Pepper Ballpark. And I'm sitting in, and it was really, really cool. Anyways, I don't know how we got off on this tangent.
That's great.
That's what we tend to do.
See, that's what happens when I used to have people that would intern for me, and they would be like, they'd be at the University of Washington, and they would say, hey, how can I get a job? Like they wanted to go from internship to Seattle, Washington to start. And I'm like, no, you got to go out to get back in. Go. And you're going to be better off for it. It's going to provide experiences. It's going to make you sort of hone your skill to be a sportscaster, and it's going to provide life sort of opportunities to help you get along and become a well-adjusted human being. So a lot like yourself. Well, I'm a strong advocate of just going to the small towns, not only honing your craft, but you don't want to be somebody that's going to skip that step. You don't want to be like Chris Collinsworth's kid. Where you just go from, I don't know where, to suddenly you're wearing an NBC blazer and calling Notre Dame games, and then you're on the sidelines of NFL games.
Well, and his name's Jack, although spelled without the K.
He's not bad.
Little untrustworthy.
Oh, I hate it.
So there are situations where people go straight from college to the pros. It's just like sports. Like there are examples of players who can make the leap. LeBron James, obviously, from high school to the pros. Kobe Bryant did it. And then there's some guys that you just need more grooming. Jack Collinsworth is a guy who clearly got too much too soon, but he's still doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, he's not
like
bad.
the guy who I really like.
He lost his gig with Notre Dame, right?
Well, he's not doing play-by-play anymore. I think he's doing more. But he's better suited for the sidelines.
Yeah.
But like Noah Eagle, who is actually, I think he might have been calling the game on Tuesday, or that might have been Kevin Harlan on Prime. I lose track of who does all the NBC versus Prime versus ESPN
so
stuff now.
So hard to find a to find an NBA game these days. When I see an NBA game, I'm like, oh, I'd like to watch this game. Where the hell is it? Here we go. Well, it used to be TNT, ESPN, done.
And I feel bad because on Tuesday I'm sitting at in press row at the Warriors-Kings game, the first one, not the one last night, and I'm looking around and I see Kalena Azubuike. So and he's walking around and talking to people, kissing hands, shaking hands, kissing babies. So
talking too much.
Yeah, simmer. So I assume that it's on NBC Sports Bay Area. He's doing the ESPN radio call, which is, great job. So I am talking about the game, assuming that people were watching on NBC Sports Bay Area. It wasn't on NBC Sports Bay Area. It was only on the radio, so Tim Roy, 95.7 The Game, and then it was on Prime. So unless you had Prime, you couldn't watch the game. You had to listen to Tim and Tom, which obviously you should be doing. But I'm sitting here thinking, like, all right, how many outlets are there? And this is I know we're going to get better at this over time, but it's one of the many things that has led me to believe, if I have an early strong take off the top of the show, that this has been the worst NBA product of my lifetime. As far as watching games, where to watch games, how to watch games, combined with the actual product on the floor and the amount of blowouts along with buy-in every single night. Did you see this last night? There were 138 players that were unavailable last night. Yeah. There were 30 games in the association, and 138, damn near 140 players of the 580 that have suited up for a single NBA game this season did not play. That's a freaking joke.
My favorite last night was Utah versus Memphis. First of all, who's going to that game? And secondly, so Memphis said, we will not win this game. We have no interest in winning this game. I'm surprised either team scored a bucket. They rested 12 guys. 12 guys. 98% of the players that were under contract were not on the floor. And then Utah said, we won't be outdone, and they rested 11 guys. And they ended up scoring 147 points and winning the game. But
yeah, they won 147 to 101. Like, that's the other thing, too. Okay, so you remember back in 2016, Dan, there was a regular season finale, and it was a massive build because on ESPN at the end of the 2015-16 season, on ESPN 1, the Golden State Warriors were going for their 73rd win against the Memphis Grizzlies. And do you remember what was on ESPN 2?
I do not.
It was Kobe Bryant's last game in the NBA.
Against Toronto.
And a lot of people didn't get to see that game because obviously they were watching the Warriors. But my point is that finale was about a team chasing history and about honoring one of the greatest players to ever lace them up. 10 years later, the regular season, the end of the regular season is about who can tank the hardest, about which team is going to be worse on a given night to give themselves 4 extra percentage points for the draft lottery. That is the state of basketball at this point. Combined with the fact that I don't even know if I wanted to watch this game where I could do it. If I had any interest in Memphis, Utah, if I had, if I wanted to watch the Warriors King, I don't know where to go. But the fact that, again, 10 years is not that long of a period of time. And it felt like even 5 years ago, we're talking about, all right, who's gunning for the 1 seed? And not just because the Warriors were in it, Dan, but guys are jockeying for postseason position. The play-in was at least fresh enough that people wanted to try and get into the postseason. And now we're sitting here at the end of the year just saying, get me to the end of this thing. Get me to the end of this thing. Players are going through the motions. No one wants to play. Franchises are trying to lose. Guys want to tank. And that's really what the league has come to.
Well, unfortunately, it isn't just relegated to the last weekend of the season. They've been doing this for about a month now, a month and a half, and this is where we're at. And you have to stop rewarding losing. But as we segue into the Kings and the Warriors, a barn burner, I do think that once again, our friend Draymond Green misspoke because yes, there's a lot of teams that are tanking. I'm not necessarily sure because the Kings get everything wrong these days. That's exactly what it is that they're doing. And so while Draymond used the platform of the press conference following a game and talked about tanking in general and talked about the ineptitudes of Sacramento and the deliberate foul on Seth Curry, as it turns out, it wasn't tanking. They had to...
You buying that still?
They're like, hey, listen, we weren't tanking. We just got a crappy coach. Either or. I don't think Sacramento, first of all, is tanking. But if they were, Draymond, here's what you have to get your arms around. Sacramento has a better record than you do since the All-Star break. So much for the tank. If they're tanking, what the hell is it that you're doing? would be my big question, including losing last night to the Kings.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I mean, that was, but again, it's like, I think we've gotten to a point where there's really nothing that you can dismiss about this Warriors season, whether it's injuries, whether it's poor play. Curry tweaked his ankle in the first half of last night's game.
Shut him down.
Well, he's actually going to play his full minutes load on Sunday against the Clippers. That's what he wants to do to get ready for the play-in because, like you said, we got a month more of basketball to go. So the Warriors are still going for this. But again, it's like we talked about this a month or two ago when Curry went down. Do I think the Warriors are going to tank? No. But this thing is just going to organically play itself out, which is you're not a very good basketball team. And what was unfortunate about last night that I think slapped people in the face a bit is the reality that just because you have all your guys and they're out there doesn't mean you all of a sudden get to turn into a different team. The Warriors have been an up and down and inconsistent group all season. And I think last night they were largely going through the motions. I think they'll put together a better effort against the Clippers because it's their last sort of dress rehearsal before this play-in next Wednesday. But the reality is you can't change your stripes. The Warriors have played up and down in competition all year, and they did it again last night, and they got beat. And that's kind of what their season's been, I would say, since the moment Jimmy Butler went down.
A lot to unpack, and I got a lot of things to say about the state of the Golden State Warriors.
You always do.
I do think that, I'll hold on to it. It's a little early. I know people are just rolling out of bed, and I don't know if I can hit them over the head first thing in the morning.
Well, so are we. Pasta shined a light in my face. You know what that's like? That's like someone dumping a vat of cold water on you when you're in bed, telling you to get up. Like, this isn't the military, Pasta. That's a freaking joke. Yes, it is. Let me ease into this show with my guy, Dan. We've already talked too much Warriors at the beginning of the show.
When I was in a fraternity back in the day, they did this thing called Bull in the Ring when you were going through initiation. And so all the actives would be in this one room, and you couldn't see them. And they'd be gathered, right, sitting down, and they would just shine this light in your eye. And they would ask you questions about the house, and they'd ask you questions about your brothers. And if you screwed it up, you would hear from everybody, but you couldn't see anybody. It was just this bright light shining in your eyes. That's what this kind of reminded me of. And or if I was captured by, I don't know, say like back in the day during the Cold War, the KGB got me. That's what they would reportedly do to prisoners of war.
What's up with you and the KGB this morning?
Well, that's what they do. That's what they would shine a light in your eyes. Tell me the truth. I don't have a Russian accent.
Dan Devon. Tell us your secrets.
Still a European, man.
Give us all your information. Wait, so did you guys have like an initiation week?
Yeah, it's called Hell Week.
Well, that's reserved for Navy SEALs. Let's not belittle the military.
I think the Navy stole it from Sig Ep. Are you kidding me? Let's get this thing straight.
We had an initiation. It wasn't a full week, but it was.
You were in the house?
Few days. No, it was like a baseball thing. I wasn't in a fraternity. Are you kidding me?
I hate even admitting that. I did it for like a semester, man. I would just like one of those things that you had to do, bucket list.
Well, I do think that there's legitimate reasons for joining a fraternity. I mean, there's strong alumni networks. You can use them to meet different people once you actually get into the real world.
No, man, come on. It's about drinking and women at that point.
Well, in college, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Are there fraternities post-college?
Well, yeah, but that was the whole premise, though, is like that wasn't a problem. Like if you're on a sports team, you have your own fraternity. That's kind of the way it goes. But I think that once you get into the real world, the only problem that I have, though, are the guys that, I can't speak for the ladies out there, but the guys that will meet someone randomly at a bar, and one of their first questions is, were you in a frat, and which one? And if they so happen to be in the same one, then it's like they've known each other their whole lives. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Just ask me what my name is. You want to do a shot together, we can do that. Maybe we hit it off. Maybe you're nice enough that, maybe we follow each other on Instagram, but you're not my best friend because you went to Sigma Phi Epsilon, whatever the hell.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's a little exclusive. And then they do the handshake. I'm like, come on, man. What
you
is
guys
this?
have handshakes?
They all have handshakes. I forgot what ours is, but yeah, they do these sort of things. it's sort of exclusive. That's it. Just to take it to the Masters, I was kind of watching the Masters. I'm like, yeah, I love golf, but if I walked into that clubhouse, every dude would look the same. These just waspy, middle-aged men. I don't know, man. I don't know if I could subscribe to that community, even though I love golf. But there's just something about the Masters and just the tradition. I love the Masters as much as everybody else. It's just there's a sense of exclusivity to it.
Well, it doesn't sound like it.
No, I enjoy it.
Have you been to the Masters, by the way?
I have, yeah.
I was going to say, you seem like the kind of guy who has.
Yeah. Well, Augusta's just a piece of crap.
You tried I have been to Augusta. I mean, I've driven past the course. It's nice.
Yeah.
It seems nice.
Yeah.
The only thing I would want to go for are the palmetto cheese sandwiches.
Yeah, that's sort of what they do.
Yeah, that's why I would be there.
Yeah, well, you would love having a media pass there because they take care of you. All that stuff is sort of set up. Their media tent's impressive.
You think we could get
Actually, in golf, if you have, I don't know what it's like because I don't go to a lot of Niner Warrior games. I'm assuming they give you a pregame meal, postgame meal?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you do
There's usually a spread.
Usually at golf, if you go to a PGA championship or if you go to the Masters, it's white cloth, napkins, sit down, waiters, waitresses. I mean, they
like
take
lobster.
care of it. Yeah, no, it's good stuff. Yeah.
Oh, so you went as a media member?
Yeah, no, I haven't gone as just a... But I went, I got a press pass essentially I really wasn't covering anything.
Yeah,
he was just like, hey, I'll get you in. So.
Well, I've always wondered, and 888-957-9570 is the number. If anybody's out there has been to the Masters, what is that process like? And when you did get, because it seems there's a lottery system.
To get tickets, yeah.
Yeah, to actually get tickets to go to the Masters. If you know people, does that help? Does it not? And if you'd be so kind, could you please get Evan Giddings and Dan DeVoe a couple of tickets for next year? That's what I'm interested in.
How about Wimbledon? Any interest?
Oh, hell yeah. Dude, I went to my first major last year at the U.S. Open, which was a lot of fun. And then a few weeks ago for my brother's birthday, we went down to Indian Wells.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that was honestly just like a major.
Yeah.
That complex is huge.
Yeah.
And I think
that tourney always draws in terms of top talent on the circuit.
Well, Larry Ellison's built that place out it's like Disney World. Disney World for tennis. Wimbledon I'd be interested in. I was actually looking at, because right now, I think it's the semifinals, or maybe the finals are today, but the Monte Carlo Masters, it's one of the big ATP 1000. So they have, I think it's 12 1,000 level events, which are kind of like precursors to the majors. And this is one of the big clay tournaments, which is obviously getting players ready for Roland Garros, which is the French Open, which is the one major that's played on clay. And I was looking at tickets because it's on TV. It kind of seems like a condensed sort of environment. And Monte Carlo would also just be a fantastic place to vacation. So I was thinking about, all right, if I could try to get out there, get some tickets, what would it look like? Tickets are freaking expensive. Tickets are absolutely expensive. And I would suggest anybody that's going to a tennis tournament to try and check out the earlier rounds so you can go and watch a ton of different players. But, yeah, Wimbledon.
I went to Roland Garros. I told you for the Olympics. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because it's the smallest of the majors, the venues, of the majors venues.
Venue's cool, though. It's in a park, sort of like in this, I want to say Roland Garros isn't necessarily the name of the complex as it is. I think it's a park.
Is it outside of Paris?
Yeah. No. Well, it's in Paris, but it's on the outskirts of Paris. But it's in this huge sort of park in Roland Garros. Imagine going to Golden Gate Park and then there's a tennis facility. That's the way I felt.
Well, that's kind of the way it is in Queens. It's like you get off. You actually get off at the same train stop as you do for Citi Field out in Queens. But then instead of hanging a left, you go right, and it just opens up. I mean, Arthur Ashe is a beast. And then the entire complex just fills up what feels like an entire neighborhood in New York City. Yeah, I would absolutely do him. Although, do you have to dress nice? Because that's the kind of the thing for the Masters too, right? You got to look super presentable.
Yeah, I mean, when you're anything in Paris or London, you got to be somewhat presentable. At least with the people that I was going with.
Yeah, but you don't have to do the whole Kentucky Derby thing, right?
No. You're rocking a hat and.
Have you been to that?
It's not like going to. No, but I'm going to Ascot. Did I tell you about Ascot? Which is in London, which is the big horse race outside of London.
Oh.
Where you got to wear a morning hat, morning coat, and top hat.
What does that mean?
Oh, well, it's just this.
I mean,
literally the king.
Are you wearing a morning
I have to.
A morning jacket right now?
we're going to the Queen's Brigade or whatever the Queen's. We've been invited to this sort of like little.
You got invited by the Queen?
No, but the Queen will be there.
With the
I'll
corgis?
send pictures. You'll laugh your butt off.
Yeah, that'll be hilarious. You and
See me in
you and
tails
C?
and a top hat. I'd laugh at that.
Wait, which queen?
The Queen of England, Pasta.
I thought
Not Queens, New York.
Queen
You
Elizabeth?
thought she's dead?
Is she not?
Well, she is, but there's got to be another queen.
Well,
Right?
they replaced the Queen, Pasta.
Is it Prince Charles's wife?
Well, I can look up the name for you during the commercial break, but are
Camilla?
you familiar with monarchies?
I am, but I just never heard her referenced as the queen.
Oh, there's only one.
Where are you going with this?
I don't know.
This is something that I think you want to click the off button when it comes to being on air with this sort of lack of knowledge of yours.
I thought you were referencing Queen Elizabeth. That's all.
No.
Lack of knowledge. I'll take the L.
888-957-9570. If you got any information about the Masters, about the Queen of England, or even the Golden State Warriors, we will take your call. This is Warriors This Week with Dan Devone and Evan Giddings. We're back after this.
What's poppin'?
As Pittsburgh prepares for the unofficial beginning of football season, the city's kickoff celebration will begin with an unforgettable invite-only night of music. The night before takes place Wednesday, April 22nd at Rivers Casino Event Center, featuring Jason Aldean, John Morgan, and Shane Prophet. Visit Odyssey.com/the night before to enter now for your chance to win this national contest. Prize includes round-trip airfare, a 2-night hotel stay, and 2 tickets to the show.
Yeah, Dan Dibley here for Fremont Bank, which, as you know by now, it's my bank, and it has been for more than 6 years. And I love this bank because it's a family-owned bank with the family-owned feel. They started back in 1964, and when they did that, it was just one branch, but now they have 21 branches. So if you go around in your Bay Area, you're going to find a Fremont Bank branch, and you're going to see it, and you're going to think, you know what? I want that full-service banking with no compromises, and you should. It's not a big box bank. It's a good local bank. And when you deposit your money with Fremont Bank, they reinvest it locally into businesses, philanthropy, home ownership, all the good stuff that makes our Bay Area the best area in all of the country. And that's why you should be a Fremont Bank customer. The money stays here. It's local. It's not a big box bank. It's a good, solid local bank. And we talk about Fremont Bank, and you know that they're here for you and here for good.
Brought to you by Bank of America. Turn the house you want into the home you own with help from Bank of America's Community Homeownership Commitment. In select markets, get up to $17,500 when combining down payment and closing cost grants. Visit bankofamerica.com/homeowner. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of FIFA Club World Cup 2025. Bank of America N.A. Equal housing lender. Credit and collateral are subject to approval. Restrictions apply. This is not a commitment to lend.
The biggest golf tournament of the year is here, and now you can trade the tournament on Kalshi. Scotty is trading at 14% to win it all. That means a $100 trade pays out $673 if he wins it all. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house, and as the odds move, you can buy in and out of your position all tournament long. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code FAN to get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
Spring is here, and it's the perfect time to reset your health. If you're ready to lose weight and feel confident again before summer hits, Jumpstart MD has you covered. With the right combination of GLP-1 medications and clinician-led care, you'll get safe, effective results that last. Because not all weight loss programs are created equal. Where you get your prescription matters. Trust the experts at Jumpstart MD. Call 855-JUMPSTART or visit jumpstartmd.com today.
95.7 The Game and Great Clips have teamed up for the new basketball season. We want our listeners to look fresh with a great haircut from Great Clips. Each week, we'll pick a lucky winner to score a gift card. For a chance to win, courtesy of Great Clips, enter online at 957thegame.com.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out video only.
Hey, it's Jonas Knox, and spring is in the air, and Alev's long-lasting pain relief is here to keep you moving. The days are longer, and the flowers are blooming. Whether it's gardening, yard work, or just spending more time outdoors, spring has a way of getting us moving despite any body pain. That's where Aleve can keep you going. With just one dose, Aleve gives you long-lasting body pain relief for up to 12 hours. From sunup to sundown, Aleve's got your back. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Now that spring is here, you might be anxious to upgrade your home's property. Golden State Lumber and Showroom works with contractors and professional builders to help you add decking, pergolas, fencing, and fire protection. Our partners include AZEK Exteriors, James Hardie Textured Panels, and Vulcan Vents to protect your home from fire and embers. Safeguard your home and protect its value by starting at goldenstatelumber.com. For over 70 years, Golden State Lumber and Showroom. When you succeed, we succeed.
This is Chris Dolan.
And I'm Vanessa Deniston, senior attorney from the Dolan Law Firm. Chris, what's with all these out-of-town personal injury firms coming into the Bay Area with these catchy jingles and funny names?
Unlike the Dolan Law Firm, most of these firms are from out of state or in LA.
The Dolan Law Firm is headquartered right here in San Francisco, going on 30 years.
We live here, we work here, we win here. The Dolan Law Firm, we're the best lawyers we hope you'll never need. DolanLawFirm.com.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
The 2026 Mountain Winery concert season is here, with performances by Dana Carvey and David Spade in June, Trevor Noah in July, and many more. To see the 2026 schedule and a chance to win tickets to one of the shows, courtesy of Mountain Winery, visit 957thegame.com.
Trying to drive on Carter, goes right by him, finger rolled up and good, and Sacramento will call a timeout. It's a 2-point game. Golden State with a 12-0 burst here. It's 65-63 Sacramento on the Warriors Radio Network.
Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Tim Roy on the call. Warriors go down last night to Sacramento, and they get set for the Sunday finale against the Los Angeles Clippers, a team that they may face on Wednesday also in the play-in. All right, before we go any further, flag on the play, flagrant 2 on Devon and Giddings. We got to apologize to Pasta. There is indeed no current queen of England. There's a king. It's King Charles. You were correct, Pasta.
I know I was.
All right, well.
But thank you. I do appreciate it.
Way to be gracious.
Yeah. Just throw it back in our faces. All right. And it's interesting, too, because we have set this up as there is no current queen sitting on the throne, although I think there is there's some sort of queen contingent or an adjacent queen. The Queen of Mountain View, Jan, has called in to grace us with her presence and talk about the Golden State Warriors. Jan, good morning. How you doing? Kick us off this segment. What's going on?
I'm not the queen, please. I don't want to be presented like a queen. Thank you very much. I was a cheerleader in high school. That's enough. So please, no more, okay? But anyway, what's your penalty for, getting that wrong? That penalty one, a flagrant against Pasta, I want to know. But anyway, I just, after last night, I just don't think there's much hope for going any further. I mean, I know they called it a dress rehearsal last night to get Curry and PK into, some kind of regimen and trying to get some kind of flow going. And, what I'm looking at is, just kind of disgusting. And that, I don't think even if they plan on extending PK, I just don't think he's going to work here. I just don't. I know that they have another dress rehearsal tomorrow night against the Clippers, and they're probably, they don't have to win that game either because they're locked in the 10, and they have been for quite some time. But, looking towards Wednesday, I don't care which team it is. I don't think that they can advance, and I'm looking right now to where I'm telling the GM and the owner of this establishment to not trade away that pick and to build around that pick and to maybe help Curry that way next year instead of trading it away for old broken down veterans. I mean, we didn't know that this was going to happen to Butler this year, and that poor Moody, fighting to get back after his wrist injury, what happened to him, and that was, very bone crushing. And then Pods last night putting all that effort in and, having a 30-point night. Congratulations to him. But, I'm just looking around, and it's like, who the heck in this establishment is also trying to help Pods when he's out there trying to, win a game. I mean, I just, when, I heard last night that Sacramento has more wins than the Warriors since the All-Star break, that was kind of surprising. I didn't realize that. And it just kind of, makes you wonder what's going on and how can they improve this team, but stop trading away our picks for broken down veterans. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend, guys.
Thanks, Jan. Appreciate the call. We are looking at ourselves in the mirror to figure out what the punishment will be for questioning the great Pasta, the all-knowing, the omnipotent Pasta.
Get your new hat.
How about that? Pasta, what do you want? What's next on your list of hats as far as sports teams are concerned?
I've been honestly looking at a Rockies hat. Complete the NL West.
It's so random, man.
Oh, I love you, Pasta. I love the way your mind
cheerleader. Works. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. She's talked about that in the past.
Oh, she has.
She doesn't want to be referred to as a queen, but I'm sorry, that's not. We're just going to bestow that upon you.
We got to tell the truth here.
What's the truth?
That she is the queen of Mountain View.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, as far as last night, well, I don't. I guess that was a night last night where who was going to help Pods? He scored 30 points.
Right on Pods.
For the first time.
Yeah.
But I think they were having some fun with him after the game. Curry was talking about how they were going to have him take a picture, with the 30-point little, kind of like the Wilt Chamberlain, 100 points. They're going to have Pods hold up the 30 burger. And he needed a free throw with 4 seconds left in the game because he missed the first. I could not have imagined if he had missed both to get to not get to 30 points. That would have absolutely stunk.
Brandon Belt.
But that's kind of what the season's been resigned to. By the way, the Warriors gave up 42 points in the fourth quarter and blew a lead down there. How much confidence do you have, Dan, that they're actually going to do what they've said they've been trying to accomplish for the last 2 months, which is get out of the and I don't even want to say get out of the play-in. Win a play-in game.
That'd be the worst thing they could do. Do you really want to hear? I mean, I guess you could just play back everything I said last week and the week before that and the week before that. You don't want to have anything to do with winning playing games right now. You want to fall back. You want draft picks. And I think what we witnessed last night, I think what we've witnessed over the last week, including the loss to the Lakers, this is rock bottom, Dub Nation. This is rock bottom. And so you have two choices. It's either you continue along this path of saying, well, it's just because we're injured, Dan, and once we get Butler back and add another veteran and roll out Steph and Draymond and do this again, we got a puncher's chance. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're just doing the exact same thing. And that's just now, you've crossed over into stupidity. And so this is rock bottom. And what happens when you're at rock bottom, there's a couple of ways to get out of it. And you know how I feel about this, and that's to start anew, clean the slate, identify new stars. You're already 2 years behind the 8 ball here, and start this rebuild. But I know exactly what's going to take place. And then everybody's going to be under this assumption that, well, all this money comes off the books and we'll go after it again next year. You're just wasting your time because you're right, Ev. This is a rebuild. It's an inadvertent rebuild, right? Like they're not intentionally losing games. But if that's the case, if you're embracing the rebuild, then why not do it? Why not do it with young players that are part of your future? And your future is not AJ Cryer, and it's not Charles Bassey, and it's not Leons. Like this is rock bottom where it is that we've hit right now, which is not necessarily a bad place because you got to go to the bottom to get back to the top.
Well, I was going to say, I think it can get worse, actually.
How's that?
You have 37 wins this season. You could be Sacramento, who's got 22 wins.
That's not worse. That's where you want to be.
No, but I'm saying you could have a worse product out there for sure.
Well,
as far as watching games.
Well, I mean, rock bottom as far as the Warriors are concerned and looking at life through the lens of the Warriors and Warrior fans.
Yeah, but the reality is you can't simulate a season. You know, we're going to be here talking about them every single weekend. And I would like to have an interesting product to talk about. I also think that the Warriors are interested in trying to find ways to fill up Chase Center. You know, as much as the end of the season has not been very exciting.
Well, that's you just nailed it on the head. Is that this is what it is that they're doing are financial moves here. It's to make sure that this product is still entertaining. And they've set a bar and a standard which is synonymous with championships and the best players in basketball. And what they're having a hard time dealing with is grappling with the fact that this is time for a rebuild. Well, they don't rebuild according to Lacob and company. They see this through the fact that this is a team that is star-laden, and where do we find the next stars so that we can continue to sell this product and to put butts in the seat. We need a Giannis. We need a LeBron. We need a Kawhi because that's who we are. And not taking into account the full body of work that needs to be done to this team, which is a complete overhaul.
Yeah, I think that they're afraid to go into the next chapter of their franchise without anything to sell, not just to the fan base, but even to players on the team. And that's really where they've swung and missed. It's like you've had multiple lottery picks, and if you're talking about acquiring a star or your next face, like you swung and missed on all three of them, right? I like Moses Moody. I feel really bad about what happened to him this season, but he was never going to be that guy. Wiseman was a bust. Kuminga, you traded away, and I don't believe he was ever going to evolve into that player. So you missed on all three chances, and those were your three get-out-of-jail-free cards. And it seems more, I'm making it sound more simplistic than it was, but that was your get out of jail free, your chance to make sure that it was easier to start this process, Dan, because you had more young talent, you had more excitement in the building. Because I do think that fans would be excited about, let's say they got a top 5 or even a top 10 pick this year. I think fans would be excited about the potential of that player. But because you still have an aging Curry on the roster, if you want to throw Green and Butler in there, you can. It's almost like that player is going to be beholden to the past because of the presence of former champions or winning basketball players. So I think that they'll probably do what you want them to do, not by their own volition, like not by their own choice. I just think that they're not very good. And so they're probably going to lose to whether it's the Clippers or Portland. They're likely going to play Los Angeles because what would need to happen is the Trailblazers would have to lose tomorrow to the Kings, and the Clippers would then have to beat the Warriors. But I don't think Portland's losing to Sacramento. So if you play the Clippers next Wednesday, you go down to Intuit and you face the wall and you lose to the Clippers, well then you get your chances and you roll out the lottery balls and you see who you're going to get. But that's where I think that's one of the more, I don't know, like I was talking to a fan the other night at Chase Center, and I think the kind of frustrating part is they're not doing this on purpose. It's just the path that's been laid out for them by their own choices. They're not trying to lose games while everyone else around them is trying to lose games. And I think that's what's frustrating is this has been a league or a season of tanking.
Yeah.
And the Warriors have chose not to tank. And yet they're still losing, like last night, to a team that is actively tanking.
Well put. And I think that's where we're at with this basketball team and management and the powers that be that are making the decisions going forward and trying to navigate this thing back to respectability or relevance, as it were. And I think that they're still under the sort of impression or their the way they see things as far as getting better is to continue to roll out Steph Curry, believing in Draymond Green. Jimmy Butler's coming back. We need another veteran piece. We have another year of these guys together. Let's go get it. And you know exactly how I feel about this. And this isn't a take. And I'm not somebody that sits here and is surprised that none of these guys are available, because it's what it is that we said at the beginning of the season. At least I did, that there's a good chance that all of your veterans are going to be hurt and not upright or on the floor when you get into the most important part of the season. It wasn't about, November and the energy going into the season. It's about, let's revisit this at the end of March and getting into April when we hit the stretch run of the postseason. Where are you at, Warriors? Where are you going to be at? And, they've delivered. This is a team that is old, brittle, and now all hurt. And if you do this again, you're going to have the exact same results. And at that point, it's all on you. And then if you could say, well, that's all right, then we'll just get into the draft. Tell me what this is going to look like a year from now. So now you're going to rely on the draft. So you've just prolonged the rebuild. And it's an inevitability that you're going to be in this exact same situation. Anybody who's grasping the fact that once Butler's back and a healthy Steph and Kristaps Porzingis and an Al Horford are going to bring us back to competition as far as going after a Western Conference title or sneaking into the NBA Finals is delusional.
Yeah, I mean, I think their days of competing for a championship are done. The question is how they want to deal with next season. And it feels like to me, Curry said this, I think it was last year. But, I mean, the quote's from, like, Einstein or something. Insanity is doing the same thing over again, expecting different results. And the Warriors from last year had, I would say, based on the results this year, last year was a great result. You went in on these veterans, you got to the second round, an injury maybe prevented you from getting to the Western Conference Finals, so you did it again. And it didn't work this year. Are you going to double down on it? That, to me, would be the definition of insanity. The issue is I'm just not sure what other options they have at this point.
Well, I gave one to you last week.
I know. And I don't really want to go down that road again. But also, too, it's like you're going to make a pick this year. You're going to get a player in here. And honestly,
you need more than that.
Well, you do. But let's say that you go into it next year and you're hoping that a bunch of old guys can stay healthy and they don't. Well, then maybe you do shut them all down. And maybe you do try and go for a lottery pick and try to kickstart this thing.
But I don't know that the system is necessarily going to work that way next year.
Well, we don't know how the system's going to work.
It's going to be overhauled. It'll be changed.
It should be.
Yeah. No, I think that's going to be top of, in terms of things to do over the offseason, that's bucket list number one.
Well, that's why, again, I said this at the beginning of the show, but I felt it watching last night. I felt it watching this entire week. I felt it watching the last 2 months, and not just because I'm watching the Warriors, but I'm watching the league, and it's like, this is bad.
Yeah,
the NBA has bottomed out. You're talking about rock bottom for the Warriors. In my lifetime, I've never seen on a night-to-night, game-to-game basis such drastic results. I mean, the margin of difference in games this year is 13.1, which is the largest in the history of basketball. There's no close games. Or there might be one among the, let's say, 30 teams played last night. Among the 15 games, there might have been 2 or 3 that were close. And that's not the way it should be. If 20% or 15% of basketball games are actually interesting and competitive, the league is in a very, very bad place. And I think you're right. It's going to lead to a big overhaul this offseason.
And by the way, really quick, we can blame the teams, but teams don't want to do this. Do you think teams want to do this to their fan base?
They're taking advantage of the rules.
Well, they have to, because it's the only way out of the doldrums. The NBA has done this too. It's tied their hands to these teams. When you put in place a second apron, you can't just go out and now acquire stars. You're limited in terms of how much money you can spend. So the only way out of hell, your get out of jail free, is to go ahead and to tank and to get into the lottery and rebuild that way. The NBA has done this to themselves. They've shot themselves in the foot. This starts with the NBA. I don't put this on the Utah Jazz or the Washington Wizards or the Memphis Grizzlies of the world.
No, if you give someone an inch, they likely take a mile. And I think that 5 years ago when this, I think it started in either 2020 or 2021, but whenever the play-in was instituted, it worked for a few years. And then teams are like, yeah, that ain't worth it. Because there's been no team that has made it out of the 9-10 that has won a series in the first round. So you're playing for the opportunity to get bounced, and you would rather just go the other direction. And in fact, so much so that you really have to dig in because there's been more competition for the number 1 overall pick than the number 1 overall seed. And that ain't good. All right, 888-957-9570 is the number. Let's go to San Jose. Talk to our guy, Austin. Austin, good morning, man. Good to hear from you. What's going on?
Hey, fellas. Hey, man. Good week, Evan. You filling in everything? Listen, hey, Dan. Listen, a couple things. A lot of layers to this, man. One, I think the Warriors and all of us, the arrogance around the Warriors is unbelievable. With Draymond this week sort of going, I thought it was kind of fake outrage with what Sacramento was supposedly doing. And to your point, this has been going on for a long time with whether you call it tanking or pretending to play and not really. I mean, the real issue is I couldn't believe that Draymond held a press conference almost to talk about what Kings were doing. What he should have been focused on is why is his team unable to perform better? Why isn't he not performing better? Why are they still going neck and neck with a team that's trying to tank and they seem to can't win? Those are issues that – so it's kind of camouflaging really what's going on internally. I mean, why not focus on your own team and not be focusing on what Sacramento's doing? So I thought that was kind of weird. The other thing is I think they missed an opportunity, Dan, that they should have made a decision that why did they bring Steph Curry back? I mean, they could have – the fans are perfectly understanding if they had said, hey, we're not going to bring Curry back this year. I think the fan base would have been completely acceptable to that. This whole notion of bringing Steph back on the illusion that they're going to make some run, and even the commentators like Fitz, and he gets paid to do it, but even the whole use of dress rehearsal, I mean, that bothers me because that's assuming that they're really not going through the real thing. They're sort of preparing for something that's going to happen, and come on, man. I mean, they're really insulting the fan base, I think. I think the fan base here is a lot more informed and understanding of what's going on. Just be honest. I mean, just say, hey, we're going to get better for the future. We're not going to play stuff. We're going to run these young boys on the ground, see what we got. And by the way, I said this early this week, Evan, this notion of bringing back Porzingis and extending Melton, forget it. You know, the analogy I said, guys, real quick, was that I used the analogy of a band. If you got a band you go out and see, you know what that sounds like, right? All of a sudden, you got to start replacing members. If the sound isn't right, you don't keep throwing guys in to try to make it. No, you got to find the right guys. Stop tinkering with this. Porzingis is not the answer, man. You're bringing in a guy with an injury history. He's getting on the other side of 30. They need to be in the 20s, not in the other side of 30. And so all of a sudden, Steph Curry and Porzingis are going to do this magic dance. against teams that have been good all year. That's the part that bothers me. Steph's going to make a run with these guys against teams that have been good all year. It's disrespectful to the teams that have actually played well this year. So I'm kind of ranting, guys. That's where I'm at. The organization needs to be honest with the fans, make a decision, get younger, and I think people will be okay with that rather than this delusion that somehow Steph's going to run through the whole league and pull out a rabbit out of his hat at the end, guys. So that's kind of where I'm at, enjoying the conversation. Take care.
Thanks, Austin. A lot of good points as always. Yeah, I think the Warriors, they're at kind of a fork in the road. And to use the Yogi Bearism, I think they just want to take it. You know what I mean? They don't want to go left. They don't want to go right. They kind of want to take the fork of the road.
Somebsomebody says it can get worse. Was that Austin? It felt as though it could get worse. I
think it can, and because again, like you could choose to tank, let's say starting next season or, after that, but you still got to play these games. You know what I mean? Like you still got to play 82 games. And that's where that's where I struggle. And we could talk about this more on the other side. That's where I sort of struggle between the rock and the hard place of being bad to get picks, to try and eventually be good, but also knowing you're going to have to wear it for like 2 or 3 years. And that's going to, I don't think sometimes people understand just how bad on a night-to-night basis it looks when you have to watch and see all of these games actually happen. I know a lot of fans can tune out, but the Warriors still have to go through and play all of these games. And it feels like, in a way, the last couple of months have sort of been a preview of that. And it ain't a fun product. All right, 888-957-9570 is the number. I see you, Coach. I see you, Smooth. I see you, Mitch. We'll get to your calls on the other side. 1 hour done, 2 to go here on Warriors This Week with Dan Devone and Evan Giddings on 95.7 The Game.
As Pittsburgh prepares for the unofficial beginning of football season, the city's kickoff celebration will begin with an unforgettable invite-only night of music. The night before takes place Wednesday, April 22nd at Rivers Casino Event Center, featuring Jason Aldean, John Morgan, and Shane Profit. Visit Odyssey.com/the night before to enter now for your chance to win this national contest. Prize includes round-trip airfare, a 2-night hotel stay, and 2 tickets to the show.
Elevate your kitchen at the Mila Innovation Center at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill. Out of your dreams and into your kitchen. Select the qualifying built-in kitchen appliance package that is right for you. With unrivaled technology and luxury-grade quality, when you bring home a Mila, you're bringing home true innovation. Now, for a limited time, save up to 10% with the purchase of a qualifying Mila kitchen package. Visit the Mila Innovation Center at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill or at friedmansappliance.com.
All right, I need avocados, bananas, salad, steak.
Wow, does your grocery list have multiple pages?
No, but I skipped lunch, so now it's like my stomach is doing the grocery shopping. And besides, I'm earning cash back with Upside.
Upside? What's that?
Hold up, you haven't heard of it? Upside is a free app that gets you cash back when you shop at gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants. And they added Lucky and Food Max stores, so we're pretty much covered wherever we go.
All those stores?
Yep, so not only are we getting a great deal on groceries, now we can earn cash back as well.
Okay, downloading Upside. Now let me copy your grocery list.
Great news! Lucky and Food Max are now on Upside. Download the Upside app and use the promo code SAVE9 to earn a 10% cashback bonus on your first grocery purchase. That's promo code SAVE9 for a 10% cashback bonus. Use promo code SAVE9.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Looking to make your voice heard? Join History San Jose for our Imagining Sessions on April 18th and 21st at History Park. We're inviting the community to help reimagine programs, events, accessibility, and engagement so History Park can better serve you. Be part of the conversation and help bring our shared history to life in new and exciting ways. Space is limited, so reserve your spot today at historysanjose.org. History San Jose, where the past connects us and your voice shapes what's next.
Tune in to 95.7 The Game for Warriors Live, 60 minutes before tip-off. Every Warriors game throughout the season as we get ready for the action. Presented by Xfinity, your home court advantage. Brought to you by Xfinity. Watch all your favorite teams all in one place. Xfinity, imagine that.
Hey, Bay Area, it's Guru. You know what's really bugging you? It's not your fantasy team or the refs. It's the bugs in your house. Ants stealing snacks, spiders showing up uninvited. That's when you head straight to AtcoPest.com. Atco Pest Control has been handling Bay Area pest problems safely and naturally for over 40 years, protecting your family and your pets without breaking the bank. Get the details now at AtcoPest.com. ATCO Pest.com. Atco's got you covered.
The biggest golf tournament of the year is here, and now you can trade the tournament on Kalshi. Rory McIlroy is trading at 7% to win it all. That means a $100 trade pays out over $1,100 if he takes it. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the odds move, you can buy in and out of your position all tournament long. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code TRACK to get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
The following is an attorney advertisement. If you get sidelined by your workplace injury, the workers' compensation attorneys at Boxer & Gerson can help you get back in the game. Our team of skilled attorneys will fight by your side for the treatment and compensation you deserve. We care about justice for injured workers. That's what makes us Northern California's premier workers' comp law firm. Call Boxer & Gerson at 510-835-8870 or visit boxerlaw.com for a free consultation. Boxer & Gerson, your life is worth the fight.
Now that spring is here, you might be anxious to upgrade your home's property. Golden State Lumber and Showroom works with contractors and professional builders to help you add decking, pergolas, fencing, and fire protection. Our partners include AZEK Exteriors, James Hardie Textured Panels, and Vulcan Vents to protect your home from fire and embers. Safeguard your home and protect its value by starting at goldenstatelumber.com. For over 70 years, Golden State Lumber and Showroom. When you succeed, we succeed.
I need a little ranch, step to the ranch.
There's a new flavor in town, the Jalapeno Ranch Club at Chick-fil-A. With that juicy Chick-fil-A original spicy or grilled chicken, a buttermilk ranch bun, candied bacon, pepper jack cheese, and jalapeno ranch sauce. It's got big ranch vibes with a little heat. Chick-fil-A's new Jalapeno Ranch Club. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
Get ready for Jim Gaffigan and his Everything is Wonderful tour on June 13th and 14th at the Masonic. A fourth show was just added. Buy your tickets at livenation.com. And for a chance to win tickets to the 4 p.m. show courtesy of Live Nation, visit 957thegame.com.
If you're carrying a lot of credit card or personal loan debt, every month can start to feel the same. All those bills, all those due dates, all that stress. There's a solution that's designed to make it easier for you. National Debt Relief could put you on the fast track to paying off your credit card debt, personal loans, and even medical debt for less than you owe, with just one low monthly payment you can afford. And no, it's not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. It's a real, affordable debt relief program that could save you lots of money. National Debt Relief has already helped over 1 million people with their debt and has thousands of 5-star reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. So if you owe $10,000 or more, don't wait. Call 800-300-4411 now to see if you qualify. That's 800-300-4411. One call could help reduce what you owe and simplify your monthly payments. Call 800-300-4411 now to find out how much you could save. If you're carrying a lot of credit card or personal loan debt, every month can start to feel the same. All those bills, all those due dates, all that stress. There's a solution that's designed to make it easier for you. National Debt Relief could put you on the fast track to paying off your credit card debt, personal loans, and even medical debt for less than you owe, with just one low monthly payment you can afford. And no, it's not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. It's a real, affordable debt relief program that could save you lots of money. National Debt Relief has already helped over 1 million people with their debt and has thousands of 5-star reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. So if you owe $10,000 or more, don't wait. Call 800-300-4411 now to see if you qualify. That's 800-300-4411. One call could help reduce what you owe and simplify your monthly payments. Call 800-300-4411 now to find out how much you could save.
Football fans, history is calling as San Francisco heads down under for the first ever game in Australia. Join the action in Melbourne with true fan travel as San Francisco takes on Los Angeles at the iconic Melbourne Cricket Ground. Premium hotel stay, epic all-inclusive events, city tours, wildlife adventures, meet and greet with a red and gold legend, and unforgettable moments. Spots are limited. Don't miss out on your shot to experience San Francisco down under. Head to truefantravel.com. That's truefantravel.com.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
Takes a handoff from Draymond, takes a three and hits it, and he's now past Tim Duncan, 19th on the all-time scoring list. Steph Curry continues to climb the ladder and rewrite the record book.
Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Warriors This Week. That was Tim Roy. Describing, by the way, I did not realize that Curry had passed Tim Duncan until Tim Roy said it. Congratulations. That's big.
It's one guy Steve Kerr always compares him to.
I think Curry, among the one jersey superstars of our lifetime, or my lifetime, Tim Duncan's probably the one he's closest to. And someone brought this up earlier this week. Like, we were having a conversation. It was actually sparked from your guy, Bill Simmons, because he said, Curry's never been like the unanimous best player on the planet or something like that. And whether you believe he's right or wrong, it doesn't pertain to the conversation. But we got into different comparisons, and like Duncan always gets left out. He always seems to get left out or left behind someone like Kobe Bryant. That's probably his peer, right? Because they both have 5 championships, one jersey guys, and they're both two-way players in their own right. Different players, but greats. And someone, I forget who it was, who called in and brought up a really good point, which is Duncan is one of the few superstars that's not just won multiple championships, but done it as the factor of the team, has done it as, so the first option, has done it as maybe a second option, and even a championship like their last one in 2014, I think it was, he might have been the third or fourth option on a given night. Curry's been a guy that has had to take a back seat, or chose to take a back seat to someone like Durant when he came here. So while he was still the leader of the team, he didn't win finals MVP, and he was fine with that. I think there are only a few selfless superstars, at least that I can recall, that would be willing to do something like that. And that, to me, is where Curry and Duncan are absolutely alike.
I also think they're really similar in that they're just really nice guys. They're really affable teammates and sort of lead in a sort of a quiet, respectful, and command sort of the room, but they do it in a way that's, they're special people. I think Steph more so off the court, a little bit more outspoken, even though he's not an outspoken person. But I think their personalities are also sort of aligned, which is something that I think Steve Kerr recognizes as well.
Yeah, Curry handles the limelight, though, better than 99.9% of people. I think Duncan just has no interest in it. He just doesn't really care about fame or all the glory and stuff that comes with it. Curry, not that he does care, but I think he just handles it with so much grace compared to a lot of other people. And in fact, it makes someone like, I think for the most part, LeBron's done a pretty good job off the court, right? He's never been in trouble. He's never done anything that you would consider malicious or dangerous or anything. He's never gotten into any trouble like that off the court. But it's almost because he's compared to Curry, and Curry's image is nearly flawless.
Who's this we're talking about?
LeBron.
Oh.
But I'm just saying, like, because Curry's image is as close to perfect as you can get, he makes other guys that are, kind of presidential and I think very respected. He makes them look like, oh, well, I mean, he's got some problems. I mean, look at Curry. When you compare him to Curry, right? LeBron's seen as an egomaniac, and he's seen as le GM and this bad guy who just, hops teams. And it's like, well, yeah, you're comparing him to a model of consistency when it comes to professionalism, and that's kind of unfair.
Yeah, I don't think you need Steph Curry to see that there's warts on LeBron James as far as his personality. And you're right. He draws between the lines when it comes to being a law-abiding citizen, right? There's no domestic abuse. This dude isn't drinking after games and being an idiot. And he's building schools. He does all the right things. It's just his persona.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Pajemski. There's certain things that we as fans, we just sit here and we're very base. We're like, I like this guy, or I don't like this guy. And there's a lot of things about LeBron James that people don't like, starting with the flopping, starting with feigning injuries, and then the ego that sort of gets in the way.
I'm with you. 888-957-9570 is the number. Let's get right back into it. Let's go to Guru in San Jose. Guru, what's going on? How are you? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. I listen to you guys. I try to listen to you guys every Saturday. I only call every so often, so I appreciate you guys taking my call.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you. So, last night I think was a microcosm of what the last couple of months have been like, and that is like with Steph, without Steph, with Kristaps, without Kristaps, like this team cannot put together 4 quarters of basketball. Forget about an 82-game season. Forget about back end of back-to-backs, like all the nuances that go into an NBA season. This team cannot really play 4 quarters of basketball, and I think this is the main reason why. Unless the other team does not want to play 4 quarters of basketball, I think they lose in the play-in, and I think they lose the first play-in game. And I agree with Dan that. There's no reason why next year would be any different than this, especially in March or April. Will this team, if it's, if you sign Kristaps Porzingis, if you get a LeBron James or Kawhi, is there any reason why this team would be able to play 4 quarters of basketball in March or April when it actually matters? And that's really what I look at. And coming to my next point, you lost to a tanking team, as Draymond said last night. So it lends the question, without even tanking, by the way. So but it lends the question, how good are you? And about the macro in the NBA in general, you guys were talking about how the league is going to be fixed next year. And one of the options is to completely flatten the lottery odds so that every team that doesn't make the play-in gets the same odds. I think that's a very short-sighted solution. I don't think I think teams are just going to try to avoid the play-in at that point, and I think you're going to have even more tanking at the end of the season. I think you're going to have an even bigger gap between 10 and 11. I think the biggest problem with the NBA is not necessarily the tanking part. I think tanking has been a part of the league ever since the lottery was instituted. But I think the worst part about the NBA is that the top teams in the league are not taking the regular season series as seriously, and it just what it does is that it puts the light on why tanking is even worse than it is. But tanking has always been there. I think the real problem is the top teams don't have they don't have what is the word I'm looking for? They don't have the
an incentive,
the will, or to compete in the regular season, because I don't think home court advantage is valued in the league anymore. If you look down the line, I don't think the Lakers mind if they're 5 or 6 as long as they get Luka and Austin Reeves back. I think they need to do something with the playoffs where the teams that are in the top couple of seeds get more home games. I think with that, I think you will see more competition, because there used to be a thing where if you got a top 4 seed, that would be what teams would try for, but they're not trying for that anymore. It's not that valuable. So I think there needs to be more creativity there, and I think there needs to be, like Dan said, I think there needs to be a change in the second apron, all of the cap rules and machinations that go into team building. I think with the flattening of the lottery odds, I think you're going to see is bad teams remaining bad, and that's not good for anybody. But I appreciate you guys listening. Thanks for hanging through my stutter there. Really appreciate it.
No, you're all good.
Have a great Saturday.
I got you. Call in anytime. Good thoughts.
Does he know that there's another guru that's affiliated with 95.7 The Game?
Yeah, of course. But his name is actually Guru.
Oh, how's it spelled?
Well, I think it's short for a longer name, but I could be wrong. He's called him before, and he's always got good thoughts. And I think his name is actually Guru.
We've had that conversation with him before, and he's very much aware.
I would love to know the origin of his name.
Who, Daryl?
Is it Guru Kowski?
Well, I don't know. But it was actually funny. So the other day,
What could Guru be short for?
Well, I don't know, but I don't want to really dive into that pool right now. What I will tell you is that yesterday, Shasky's nephew came into the studio, and I think they were going up to, they have a cabin up in Santa Rosa or something, so he's going to ride with him after the show. So for 15 minutes while he's waiting for him, he's just in the bullpen area outside the studio, and Guru walks right up to him, and, Goo loved the kids, right? So he walks up to him and he goes, "Hey, I'm Guru." And I go, "Well, you're Daryl. That's your real name. How do you have command of a nickname to the extent that you can introduce yourself as that person?" You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, like, Guru's name, who called from San Jose, is Guru. But there's also the Guru, who works at 95.7 The Game. It always fascinated me. And really, I think it just comes down to jealousy, because I don't have a nickname that I can own as much as Goo does with his.
Yeah. He's one of one, man.
You ever have a nickname?
Well, my middle name's O'Brien, and I grew up Obi.
That's pretty, I like that.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I think the biggest...
If I started calling you Obi, though, that wouldn't work.
Like, if you didn't call me Obi, I would think that, you would be somebody that I grew up with or from back home. The minute I hear Obi, I'm like, oh, all right, familiarity here. I know this person. But when you buy into nicknames, when you get on the air, and not that this is going to happen to Guru, who is one of my... I put, well, you know how I feel about Steiny and Guru. It doesn't get any better than you guys. And I everyone's solid here. It's just that when I'm listening, it works out with me being in the car at that particular time of the day.
Yeah, you should come on the show sometime.
Well, you got to invite me.
All right, Friday.
Problem is if I come on the show, I'm going to want to stay on the show. I'm going to be like Chucky calling in on a Saturday, and then I want a full hour.
Then you can come into the ship after.
That I can do.
That's where the action. That's where the real show goes down. 10 to 2 is just a preview.
No, I guess the only thing is that when you start buying into handles and on-air handles, like at some point, all of this comes to an end. At some point, your contract doesn't get renewed, or you get old, and then all of a sudden, the demographic or people are listening to somebody else. And are you okay with going back to being Daryl or going back to being Obi or whomever? Like, sometimes I know a lot of women, for whatever reason, I don't mean to go there, but sometimes in television, it happens to men as well, but because television is so optic driven that people are oftentimes very attractive that get on the air, and they're beautiful people. Their hairs are perfectly coiffed. And as they get older, as we all struggle with, suddenly, their audience begin to diminish a little bit, and they find themselves off the air, and they really have a hard time dealing with that. So there's a lot that goes on in terms of the persona and making sure that you're good with who you are, whether you're on the air or off the air, because at some point it all comes to an end, and you can't be walking around saying, "Hey, I'm still that guy." There was a guy. Are you familiar with Hawaii 5-0?
The new show, but I know it was also the original
as well. Which McGarrett was the star of the show, right? Like, this is before me. This is like back in the 70s, right? And so, but after the show had its run, like, Hawaii 5-0 was the show. This is when people watched television well before streaming, and it was Hawaii 5-0 and then everything else. And so, the show was at its prime, and McGarrett, whoever the guy, I think his name was something O'Connor, whatever his name was, and he was king of the hill. And then obviously the show doesn't get renewed. It has a shelf life as every show of only, 4 to 5, 7 years, whatever.
Yeah.
But he had a hard time, and this isn't just relegated to him, but had a hard time of not being McGarrett anymore and being that persona. And he literally would show up, and this is when he got much older, maybe senility was creeping in, but he would show up to crime scenes in Hawaii and flash his badge and say, "I got this, I'm McGarrett." Like, he was still living the the persona of this character from television.
Well, I think that's common for a lot of actors is you get pegged into either a character or a role. You know, I think it was...
but it's hard to relinquish that power, and the adulation is what I'm saying.
Oh, fair. But I think it was Matt LeBlanc. Like, he played Joey in Friends, right? So I just remember listening to an interview where he was saying it was really hard for him to get a role because everyone
typecast.
Yeah, exactly. But it's also a power trip because it goes to your head because you have
exactly what I was thinking of pasta.
Yeah, you have so much equity in this one character and money and fame and all that. But there are only a few people that can branch out from that one role. And so he felt like while it was unfair to kind of typecast him as this, dumb, kind of good-looking jock, funny guy, it also was the reason why he is who he is. He's Joey. I don't know. It's kind of a give and take.
By the way, have you seen Dumb and Dumber with Jim Carrey?
Not in a long time.
You got to rewatch it. As stupid as that show is, it will make you laugh out loud. It's just so over the top stupid, and he's so good at it. Like, that's Jim Carrey. I don't want Jim Carrey to do anything else but that.
See, the funny thing is...
Although he quit acting.
Jim Carrey?
Yeah, he's an artist now.
He is. He's an eccentric individual. But the guy that I'm more interested from Dumb and Dumber is actually Jeff Daniels. Because Jeff Daniels has gone on to do a lot of really interesting work.
That's a good point.
And one of my favorite shows is, for example, like The Newsroom. And Jeff Daniels plays this...
That speech he gives? Remember when he's on the...
That's from the very first... I think that's the first scene of the first episode. The one where he's talking to the kids?
Yeah, about
America?
Being number one?
Yeah.
Number one in what?
That's the first scene from the first episode, I believe. And it sets the tone for the entire series.
Number 5 in education. And this poor college kid is just like gets absolutely destroyed.
He's like, so to say all that, I'll say all that to say, I don't know what the F you're talking about when you say, why is America number one? But anyways, he can go from being Harry Dunn in Dumb and Dumber, this like crazy, zany, funny character, to being a super, left-wing political philosopher. And he has a wide range of roles. So he's someone who has not been typecast in the world of Hollywood. Guru also brought up the Guru from San Jose, this idea of tanking and what to do. I'm kind of with him. I don't think that just evening the odds among the non-playoff teams is going to be, or even among all 30 teams, is going to solve the problem. To me, you have to find a way. I don't know how to make the regular season more important, but for example, the Warriors do factor into this, and I agree with him when he's talking about how postseason series home court advantage isn't as important. I mean, think about the last 2 times the Warriors have got to the postseason. They were the 6th seed against Sacramento, and they were the 7th seed, so they got out of the play-in against Houston. They won both of those series, and it took them 7 games, which eventually led to their demise in the second round, I think, because it took a toll on them physically. But the reality is, you can still, it feels more common or more plausible that you can upset a higher seeded, a top 4 seed as one of those lower seeds. I don't know statistically if that's true, but I do believe that a lot of teams, especially the older teams, are just prioritizing health as opposed to the actual slot and whether they have a home court advantage.
It's rest right now. Like if you're the number 1 seed, getting that week off is everything this time of the year. Everybody wants it. But sometimes in the NFL, when you compare it to the other sports, they think it's sort of a detriment that you sort of lose your rhythm and you become a little bit vulnerable. That's not true in the NBA. Everybody, and I don't care if you're young or old, you want rest this time of year.
Well, yeah, because it's just so damn long. If the Warriors, and that's kind of why I think, in a way, that is one of the reasons why they lost last night, because I don't think they were really, they weren't going for it. They might have tried to turn it on at certain points, and I don't think that they're a team that can do that anymore. You saw them try to turn it on Tuesday against the Kings, and it kind of worked, but really didn't. You saw them try to turn it on against the Lakers, didn't really work. I just think the Warriors are, especially their championship players, sometimes you feel like you can just flip a switch and get back to being the guy you were. And I think the Warriors could do it for maybe 4 minutes or 8-minute stretches, but to do it for a full 48, it's a task of yesteryear. All right, let's go to Mitch in New Jersey. Ooh. Mitchie, what's popping, baby? What's happening?
How you guys doing?
Oh, we're great,
Evan,
Mitch.
Dan.
A lot better than you're here.
What's popping? Really? What's cracking? What's happening? I don't know. I compare the Warriors compared to my bathroom. I'm getting my bathroom done. You got to replace everything, and I can't just leave some parts in there. So I'm hoping, God willing, Draymond's not there next year, and same with Butler. Butler's been a much bigger help the last few years, except for this year. But I'm hoping they can somehow get another lottery pick. They got to keep their picks and just tank. You got to lose. They're one and done. Hopefully, maybe there'll be the luck of Cooper Flagg. There's no Cooper Flagg in this draft, right? But it's a deep college draft this year. What do you think? A lot of good freshmen. And I want to ask you, are we keeping D'Anthony Melton? And what do you think about Santos? He's got the height. How is he for our future?
What do you think, Mitch? Do you like Santos?
Yeah, I do. I like his height. I know. I guess he missed a few games lately. I saw. So I don't know what's the story with him.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Right on, Mitch.
I think Melton's somebody I'm pretty lukewarm on. It doesn't really make that big of a difference to me.
Back, and I'm way in on Guy Santos. Guy Santos is suddenly, when he doesn't play, he's elevated to a place now where you're just like, yeah, kind of missing Guy Santos. It's just like,
oh, okay.
Well, I'm just saying, when you think about what you're rolling out right now, it's like, you could use some Guy Santos. Guy Santos is a player on this team. If there's one bright spot on this year, I told you this last week, I compared it sort of the pandemic, where you had all of these players auditioning in real time for future playing spots on the Golden State Warriors. And what came out of that was Jordan Poole. And I think what's coming out of this year is going to be the emergence of Guy Santos. That's the only positive.
Yeah, but I don't want to put Santos in the class of Poole. I mean, Jordan Poole was a contributor to a championship team. He was a really good player.
Now, my point being is that you have found somebody that maybe otherwise would not get an opportunity.
Well, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, look.
And D'Anthony Melton can keep going. I mean, I like D'Anthony Melton, but, bro, I am not investing you in the future. Don't make me put on my Dan Devone GM hat, because I can get pretty harsh.
Oh, I know.
I'll slam the door on anybody.
I know you can. I mean,
bye, Felisa.
But to me, it's like, if Melton's back, okay, fine. If he's not back, it's not going to kill us.
But that's a terrible attitude, Ev.
What are you talking about?
How can you be lukewarm and that's the problem with the Warriors? If he comes back, it's all right. No, you have to be able to say, I cannot invest money in you because I don't think what it is I've seen over the last month and a half going forward is a good omen that you're going to contribute anything to this basketball team. And anything, I think you've started a downward trend, whether it's because of the injuries or what have you, that this is not part. I want somebody that's going to be electric. I want people on this basketball team, and that's why you got to go young. I want people where there's a future. Now, granted, sometimes it's not going to work out because there's risk involved anytime you go with younger players, but I know what D'Anthony Melton can do, and quite frankly, at this point, he's broken. I like the guy, but he's got two wheels that look like they're about to come off every time he goes down the court.
Yeah, and what I would say to you is I want electric players too. I want young players. I want these Thundercats. You ain't getting them. Like you're not just going to go say, okay, D'Anthony Melton walk and we're going to bring Jalen Williams in here. Like, that's not how it works. You don't just get to replace a player with a better version of himself in one offseason. Like, I hear you, and in principle, I do agree. But to me, like, how are you going to do that? That's what I would say. How are you going to? How
I'm going to do that, but nobody. You don't want me to revisit this because I don't want it to be a thing because people are going to lock me up.
No, okay. So let's say you go and trade everyone for picks.
If I move Steph Curry and I move him to Charlotte, or a place that he might, a lot has to happen between now and then, right? Let's say the Warriors peter out and Charlotte, and this is very possible, although they've petered out a bit of late. But if Charlotte makes a run, which is possible because I think the East is wide open this year, and they win a couple of series, and people can see that this is a team that's a year away from potentially being a number 1 or number 2 seed next year in the East, as crazy as that seems. The idea of doing Steph a favor and giving him a solid and letting him go back home, because the one thing they're missing is a leader, and then just absolutely purging them of all of those draft picks is how I want to build this thing. And I can guarantee you I will slide somebody into that number 2 spot. Oh, we got to go.
Yeah, we got to hit a break here. Warriors this week, back after this on 95.7 The Game.
As Pittsburgh prepares for the unofficial beginning of football season, the city's kickoff celebration will begin with an unforgettable invite-only night of music. The night before takes place Wednesday, April 22nd at Rivers Casino Event Center, featuring Jason Aldean, John Morgan, and Shane Prophet. Visit Odyssey.com/the night before to enter now for your chance to win this national contest. Prize includes round-trip airfare, a 2-night hotel stay, and 2 tickets to the show.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. Introducing the new Comfort Mode mattress, starting at $15.99. For a limited time, get free delivery when you add a base. Only at Sleep Number.
The biggest golf tournament of the year is here, and now you can trade the tournament on Kalshi. Rory is trading at 7% to win it all. That means a $100 trade pays out $1,341 if he wins it all. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the odds move, you can buy in and out of your position all tournament long. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code FAN to get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
He's the best interview in the Bay Area.
He looked like Steph Curry always has, so he still got it. I mean, I think the biggest thing when you're 37 is maintaining the level over the course of 82 games.
And he joins Willard and Dibbs every week during the NBA season.
We have a blueprint that everybody's feeling confident with.
Steve Kerr is presented by Great Clips. In sports, success is about team effort, and the same is true for your hair. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Tune in to 95.7 The Game for Warriors Live, 60 minutes before tip-off. Every Warriors game throughout the season as we get ready for the action. Presented by Xfinity, your home court advantage. Brought to you by Xfinity. Watch all your favorite teams all in one place. Xfinity, imagine that.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-708-5977. 800-708-5977. 800-708-5977.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Too many families face a widening gap between what they can afford and what they need to thrive. More than half of families in the U.S. today are one paycheck away from financial crisis. At Good 360, we deliver hope when families need it most, providing essentials like clothing, hygiene items, and household goods. Put help within reach. Learn more at good360.org.
Powerful doesn't just happen. You have to make it happen. So the moment Total Wireless offers a free Samsung S25 FE with Galaxy AI, when you switch to Total 5G or 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan, you take the network as powerful as you, with unlimited 5G data that won't slow you down. Now that's a total power move. Visit your neighborhood Total Wireless store. Device taxes and fees may apply. Requires new activation on a Total 5G Unlimited 3-month plan or higher. External port-in and ID verification. Available only in Total Wireless stores. Limit to 4 devices per account.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I need a little ranch, step to the ranch, come on, meet me at the
Introducing the new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club Sandwich. With that juicy Chick-fil-A chicken on a buttermilk ranch bun, jalapeno ranch sauce, and pickled jalapenos, it's a little ranch with a lot of kick. The new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club with original spicy or grilled filet. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
The 2026 Mountain Winery concert season is here with performances by Dana Carvey and David Spade in June, Trevor Noah in July, and many more. To see the 2026 schedule and a chance to win tickets to one of the shows, courtesy of Mountain Winery, visit 957thegame.com.
Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Yeah, even I know this.
That's why he's good. That's why Posse, you know what? I will do this on the behalf of Matt Nahagian. You just got to raise.
You have no power here.
None.
We have no power here. We just met a guy from KCBS who wants to be our best friend now. We told him we're never going to see him.
No, we don't go through those doors. So KCBS, we have adjoining doors, and they like to come over here because we know we're like, we're talking sports. We hang out. There's a keg out there. We just sort of like do our thing, open bar. And so they like to come in here and shoot the S. I never go over there. Like, what the hell? KCBS looks like a place I would go to die.
Well, don't be a stranger.
Yeah, I saw him in the kitchen. He comes over. He's like, so you work with the game? I'm like, yeah, we do a Warriors show from 9 to noon on Saturdays, kind of a Warriors show. And we're just having fun, shooting the breeze, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, yeah, man, during the week, like, it's kind of a lot of stuff that happens in there. There's sales, and you got guys screaming at each other and doing all this and all that. I'm like, welcome to Saturdays, bro. There's nobody in here besides us. We own this town.
I do not recognize this place during the middle of the week, which is one of the reasons why.
You've never been in here in the middle of the week.
I have been here. I've done shows in the middle of the week, And like I was telling you, you guys should have me on more frequently, but I don't necessarily want to be here during the week. But,
you kind of have to be in studio.
But I'm telling you, like when I come in here and this place is packed with all of these, it looks like a sweatshop. You got all of these salespeople in their cubicles. I'm like, who the hell are these people? Like, can you get out of the way? You're sitting in my putting green. This is usually where
Well, those are the people that pay our paychecks.
Well, I understand that, but why are we all in the same room?
And the keg just empties like twice as fast.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you why we're in the same room. So there's a new company that just moved into the building. And it was, I don't know, probably some tech company. Anyways, so on Monday, they're all moving in and they got these meet and greet cards and, what floor you're on and what your task is. And so I'm just watching these people stand in line to get basically their own cubicles on whatever floor. They got 4 different floors. So some people are going to 7, some people are going to 12, some people are going to 16. And I'm thinking, you're the reason why we have our sales staff, our KGMZ staff, our Alice staff, our Live 105 staff, all jam-packed like sardines because we can't get another floor in this building. It's all rented out. So even if we wanted to put the salespeople somewhere else, which may or may not have been in the original plan, we couldn't do it. There's no space.
It's like a lifeboat. It's like the Titanic. You got like 8 people all huddled in this one little raft.
So we got to keep fighting.
The one thing that always, I know there's this conspiracy theory, and I'm on the side of, I believe there was room for Jack on that little lifeboard. And the Titanic, the end of the Titanic. Rose is sitting there, and she's the one who makes it. She's the one who survives, and Jack, her lover, floats away into the abyss, and eventually they see each other.
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, DiCaprio and, is it Winslet?
Kate Winslet? Yeah.
There was room for
True
Jack.
story.
She could have moved over. Is the Titanic a true story?
No, I know the Titanic rose.
Yes. It hit an iceberg.
No, the Titanic I'm aware of. but the unsinkable ship. But I'm asking you if the storyline about this particular passenger is true.
Oh, now that I don't know. I never really looked into it that much. You know, every person I've dated has told me that the Titanic is in their top 5 or whatever. So I've seen it a few times, but it just...
Well, how can you not like the Titanic? My God,
dude,
why are you so...
it's 3.5 hours, Dan.
You're so cranky.
No, that part was fictional. I just looked it up. And those are 2 fictional characters.
Well, that makes a lot more sense.
He was a stowaway, right?
It's a good movie, but just... It's so freaking long.
You got to get in touch with that emotional side of you. That's when you're going to hook up with somebody of the opposite sex. Or the same sex. I don't care what team you're playing on. I'm just saying that's when you're going to identify that next person. You got to go there, man. You got to go there. Or maybe you're just very callous and that's the way you are.
I'm just guarded. There's nothing wrong with the Titanic.
Just open up, man.
Well, I just think it's a little overrated.
No.
What, it has 13 Oscars? You're not Ben-Hur.
Greatest movie of all time, man. I get into stuff like that. I love that movie. I'm one of those that I'm very in touch with my, I don't know, sensitive side.
Well, you are now. Back in the day when you're running through fraternities at U of A in Tucson.
I like OnlyFans. Yeah, you know what? I got nothing to say.
Basta! All right, let's save Dan with a call. Richard's been hanging on patiently. Wants to talk to you about Hawaii 5-0. Richard, welcome to the program, man. What's going on? Good morning.
Well, welcome, guys, and thank you. And just want to say quick, if you gave traffic and weather, you'd crush KCBS. The actor in Hawaii 5-0, Jack Lord, I met him many years ago in the late 70s because I used to go to Hawaii for vacation, and it's a surprising tidbit you gave about him showing up at crime scenes when it came to typecasting. But in the later Hawaii 5-0, it had Alex O'Connell and Scott Kahn. I actually got in a scene on Waikiki Beach, but unfortunately I was on the cutting room floor. So, But I enjoy your trivia.
Yeah,
Rich.
You know what? I used to see them filming that show, and that was Kahn's kid, right? James Kahn's kid.
Oh, I think he dropped.
Oh, jeez.
Pasta gave him a quick hook.
Come on, Pasta.
Get in or get out. Have you ever been in a movie?
I have not.
Even as an extra?
Yeah. By the way, seeing Pasta toss the guy, just giving the motion that he tossed the guy. Did you see the umpire? I want to say it was in AAA, tossed the organist or the person playing.
Stop.
No, threw out the person that was in charge of the music, looked up to the press box and said, get him out of here. The guy was playing 3 blind mice because the umpire had missed a couple of calls.
That's pretty funny, actually.
This is an old video, but I've seen it. Yeah.
Is it old?
It is a very old video. But yeah, bad call, 3 blind mice. And then the announcer, the play-by-play guy, said, he just threw out the PA announcer. I'll have to get that audio, actually. It's pretty good.
Yeah, we can come back with it for the next break. So the only reason I was asking, because I have been an extra in the movie Moneyball.
Oh, okay. Oh, well.
Because it was shot here at the Coliseum.
So you were one of 35,000 people sitting in the stands?
There actually weren't that many people. Really? They just made it seem like there was a lot of people. There was probably a couple hundred. But, you know, it was like some Facebook ad, you know, needed extras for Moneyball. And so me, my mom, my dad, and another family all took Bart in. Dude, it took forever. It was like 6 hours on set. And there's a couple of funny moments, though. We filmed the scene where you're walking over the Bart Bridge, and it was all based around the Hatteberg scene. There's actually one scene where it's kind of like a close-up on Brad Pitt as he's walking out of the tunnel, because in the scene, you know, he didn't go to games. He's superstitious. Billy Bean is and was. And so he turns around, drives to the Coliseum, and he walks out of this tunnel right as the A's are blowing this big lead. And in that one shot from kind of like the third base side, you can see my mom.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, so
That's awesome.
She's actually kind of in the film a little bit. And she was one of the few people that didn't get her phone taken, because the moment Brad Pitt starts walking out, everybody starts taking pictures.
Oh, wow.
You see Jonah Hill, you see Brad Pitt, like he's right there. And everyone starts taking pictures, and then they start grabbing everybody's phone. My mom was one of the few people that actually kept her phone and kept the photo. But you can see her in that shot. And it was a fun day. But the one thing that I do remember is got to be nighttime. They had to wait for the sun to go down so they could film the Hatterberg walk-off. And I didn't know at the time, but it was Chris Pratt who's played Scott Hatterberg. And so he's rounding the bases, and they're telling everybody, all right, 3, 2, 1, we need you to cheer. And everybody cheers. We do it a couple of takes, and I don't know if it was the director or some stage manager, but he goes, hey, all right, you guys are at a 5. We need you at a 12. And some guy from the crowd goes, well, if this was a real baseball game, I'd be drunk. Do you have any beer? And just screams at him.
That's awesome.
And the stage manager starts losing it. He starts cracking up. And he goes, well, no, but try to act like you're drunk.
That's great. What am I doing?
Yeah, we ended up getting through the scene.
Every time I hear Moneyball,
it was fun.
How do you do that movie without mentioning Hudson Mulder and Zito?
Or the MVP.
I mean,
Miguel Tejada.
Seriously. I get it. But that's Hollywood for you.
Yeah.
Well done.
I mean, it wasn't really about the baseball scenes. It was about Pitt and being in his relationship with, his daughter and the team. And it was Hollywood. I mean, but the book itself is honestly, it's not super exciting or enthralling. It's a really good book, and it's a great explanation of how baseball kind of got turned on its head by the Oakland A's. But the book itself is not some Hollywood script. They really had to take liberties.
0-2 draft.
Oh, yeah. Who's the guy? Brown?
I learned a lot about Nick Swisher in that book. But, yeah, they covered a lot of the 2002 draft. Way different than the movie. Completely different.
Well, they basically tried to do what the Cowboys did in the 90s, which was like stockpiling picks. They did the old Jimmy Johnson. I think they had 7 first-rounders, but one of them ended up becoming Nick Swisher, who was obviously a contributing member to the mid-2000s.
Here's your segue.
What's up?
You know how he stockpiled those picks.
That's what the Warriors should be doing, huh?
He traded one Herschel Walker at the end of his career and got a lot of picks and was able to build a Super Bowl, multi-time Super Bowl winner. And so I'm just saying, you got one of those aces up your sleeve right now. But if you don't pull the trigger, if you want to wait till next year and have everyone go out to the sunset, money comes off the books, it's too late.
Well,
too damn late.
I don't think it's too late. You can always do it. But one of the reasons why
you can't trade staff.
Well, but okay, so from that draft, the Cowboys, they got Emmitt Smith, right? In that draft? I think they got a couple of other starters.
Woodson.
But they already had Aikman and Irvin. It wasn't as if the Cowboys built a dynasty from that one draft. They did it over multiple. And I think the Warriors are in a position where this summer, I want to see them get that pick, use that pick, and try and lean into it a little bit. Maybe it's not the guy who's going to change your franchise, but I think that going into next season, this idea that they should be completely beholden to the veterans, I think there has to be some give and take. Whoever this guy comes in, especially if he's a top 7 or 8 or even 10 pick, because there's supposed to be a lot of good players. I want to see if this guy can play. Like, give him some rope.
But ideally, if they listened to me and had I been the GM, you would have this guy now joining VJ Edgecombe or joining Con Knipple or joining Cedric Coward or joining one of the many stars that came out of this draft. And you can even go back to the previous draft where I said you should have tanked before. Now you'd have this star joining Zach Edey or joining one of those players.
You know I don't like Edey.
I know, that's why I said him. But if you had now a compilation of young stars and you were building towards something, because here's the thing, Ev. Look at what they're doing right now, this inadvertent tank. Like, for people to say, well, we didn't see this happening, but yeah, now they're sort of tanking because they're not very good and because all these players are injured, and so you had to bring up these guys from the G League on these 2 ways. Wait a minute. What do you mean you couldn't foresee this? I could foresee this. So the fact that you're tanking now, whether it's inadvertent or whether you're doing this on purposely to elevate your lottery status, you're at where you're at, and you could have done this instead of having guys like AJ Cryer and guys like Bassie. You could have done this tanking with young players that you could have got excited about that would provide, and here's the operative word, everybody, a future. There is no identity or future with this current state of the Golden State Warriors. And so that's where you should be at right now. And then, because you have money coming off the books and more draft picks, those draft picks could act as capital or assets where you could go trade for somebody that could come in, that could be a key veteran or a good basketball player, now to work along with these young players that you've been developing over the last couple of years. And now suddenly you have got something in place that's viable in terms of walking down the OKCs of the world. But instead, we all subscribe because Steve Kerr, who is the ringleader of all of this, and he says as much, I have no interest in young players. That's not where I want to do at age 60, 61 years of age, that I like veterans. I want to win with veterans. I don't have the patience for that. Understood. But I think the contradiction is that you need to exert patience right now because you are not going to win next year and you're not going to win the year after. So what it is that you need to do is build something from the ground up. And they have no interest in that, which is why they got to move off of Steve Kerr and they got to head in this direction. And the sooner you do it, the quicker you go back to being that team that everybody envisions or at least associates the Warriors with, and that is championships and making a run at the Western Conference title. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, I think he'll be back next year.
I know he is. But I love the way you diffuse. You know, I sit up here on my soapbox and then just with one subtle shot to the kidneys, I'm humbled.
Well, it's because we've been doing shows together for so long.
You know what's coming, right?
Yeah, I know how to just slip the jab and put one right in your rib cage.
Shut up.
Thank you, Dan. Or Dave. That's Dave. So what I was thinking during that is actually, I mean, you know, I'm kind of with you. I don't think that Kerr would be the right coach for a young basketball team. But I think some of this also falls on the veterans of the team. Like, I don't think Curry would have wanted to wait around. I don't think Draymond wants to wait around. I think they're in it together, you know, and I think that's where some of the, I also don't think Lacob wants to wait around. I don't think this, I think they're trying to serve both masters. They want to be competitive. They want to be a good product while also developing guys at the same time. And they've kind of failed to do both because they haven't picked a lane. And there are examples of franchises that have done both. I would say Boston is probably a shining example of that, where they've been good for the better part of 10 years. Even before they had Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, those guys took them to another level. But before that, they, you know, like the Kyrie Irving experiment didn't work. Okay, so how do we pivot off that? In the meantime, developing guys and ancillary pieces that aren't just superstars. And the Warriors have kind of fallen flat on their face.
Wasn't trying to match windows with aging players. They did it with different iterations, but nobody was over the age of 35.
Well, true. Well, I mean, Horford was, I guess, at one point, and I think Holiday was kind of getting there, but they weren't afraid to move off those guys because, honestly, Dan, I think that the biggest problem that the Warriors are, they're still committed to their champions. They're four-time champions. And I think Boston, I'd be interested to know if the Celtics had, let's say, that core that won the title was it 2 years ago? If they had won, let's say, the championship before, or they had won 3 of 4, would they have still got off and unloaded Drew Holiday or unloaded Porzingis and Horford? Because I do think that there is some sort of that you have to these champions. And I don't know what it is and how much you feel that way, but I think one of the reasons why a Celtics ownership group or front office, or even like a Denver front office, doesn't feel beholden to some of these players and isn't afraid to make those kind of cutthroat necessary moves because they only have one championship. And they're chasing a second one. They're chasing what the Warriors had. Meanwhile, the Warriors are just simply clinging on to the past. And honestly, I feel like sometimes watching this team and the way they construct the roster, they're afraid of the future.
Speaking of Denver, how is the Joker not the MVP this year?
Is he going to reach the threshold, 65 games? He's
going to get there.
They've won 11 in a row.
They're just, you know what it is? We're just tired of it. We're just accustomed to it. It's just, he's not the new next shiny penny, you know? There's no reason. The dude is, you're probably looking it up. I'm going to say off the top of my head, he's like 28, 12, and 10. Like, that's what he has a center. Every damn night, dude's giving you 30 points, 12 rebounds, and like 10 assists.
Yeah,
and not only that, he is the reason why you are who you are. And SGA is good. The reason why SGA, I'm out on him, is that he flops. And you can't do that if you're going to be an MVP as far as I'm concerned. And yeah, Joker complains a little bit more for my liking. But by the way, Stranya was in the news again. The biggest human being on the planet, his brother.
Stranya. Oh, his brother. The mountain.
He got into it with somebody in San Antonio. By the way, did you see that?
That was a great game. That might have been the best game I've seen in months. That game between Jokic and Wemby. By the way, there was a lot of flopping going on both ways, and especially by Jokic. But
how about that shot?
That's a series I want to see.
Right on, man. That's like, that goes back in the days of like, I don't remember, you read about, was it Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain? That sort of like has that ability going forward. Although, Joker's obviously a little bit older. And like, people like to think it's Chet Holmgren and Wemby.
Because they're in the same draft class.
Yeah, but Wemby's like, no, man, that dude isn't even.
He's not in his league. I mean, Wemby might be the best. It was funny, too. You said, why isn't Jokic the MVP? I can make the same case for Wembanyama.
Right.
I mean, that guy is unbelievable. What I saw him do with my own two eyes at Chase Center to the Warriors, and I realized it was a lot of Santa Cruz guys out there a couple of Wednesdays ago. Dude, he had 10 and 6 in 4 minutes. Like, he was catching lobs. There was one play where the Warriors, because you can't really guard him one-on-one, so you sort of have to play some sort of a zone. And the Warriors basically had 3 guys around him. He called for the ball, turned, and was looking naturally where to go with it because there's pockets in the zone. And then just said, F it. Went around 3 guys and like that kind of pseudo dunk, but he like throws it in with the left hand for an and one. And you're like, this guy is just, I have my doubts about him because I think in the playoffs it'll be a different beast, and the physicality might be the reason why the Spurs eventually get knocked out. But in a year or two, like it's that guy's world.
It could happen this year, and it's because of him, and it's because like I can't. You can handicap a lot of teams and how they're going to do in the postseason, and they're inexperienced or they're missing this and that and the other thing. I don't think that you can get your arms around and handicap San Antonio this year because of him. He's an alien. He's an alien, and we just don't know. We have no idea. He could dominate the postseason.
He could.
You know what? So absolutely. I was reading this, that when he extends his hands, he is 10 feet tall. So just think about that. If he's coming out at you and he just extends his hands like this, perpendicularly, it's like shooting over a little building. Like 10, think about that. So he could stand from his feet and touch the rim.
There were back-to-back possessions in that game against the Warriors where Wemby, I think, like Spencer hit some sort of turnaround. He kind of caught him flat-footed, and so he didn't have the 10 feet, and he made a shot. And it was almost like he took that personal because the next time down, he put him in the stanchion. I mean, and I get it, it's Pat Spencer against Wembanyama, but there's been so many moments like that this season where someone scores on him on another team, and then he just decides, all right, I'm going to guard the three-point line and the paint, and there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. And if you want to give it to Jokic, if you want to give it to Wembanyama, if you want to give it to SGA, I really don't think that there's a wrong pick this year for the most valuable player, but I know it ain't coming from the Warriors. 888-957-9570 is the number. We got to hit a break here. I see you, Glenn and Fremont. We'll get to your call on the other side. We got one more hour left here on Warriors This Week with Dan Devone and Evan Giddings on 95.7 The Game.
As Pittsburgh prepares for the unofficial beginning of football season, the city's kickoff celebration will begin with an unforgettable invite-only night of music. The night before takes place Wednesday, April 22nd at Rivers Casino Event Center, featuring Jason Aldean, John Morgan, and Shane Profit. Visit Odyssey.com/the night before to enter now for your chance to win this national contest. Prize includes round-trip airfare, a 2-night hotel stay, and 2 tickets to the show.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising. After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know. Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
You'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Hello, San Francisco Bay Area. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
At Odyssey, we believe in creating a diverse and inclusive workforce. We also value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be notified of all our open positions. That's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for all our listeners, please visit odysseyinc.com/careers for a list of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
Hey, Bay Area sports fans, get ready for game day with Laughing Monk Brewing. Whether you're watching with friends or heading out after the final whistle, Laughing Monk has the perfect beer for the moment. With locations in Sunnyvale, Scotts Valley, and Bayview in San Francisco, there's always a Monk nearby. And now, check out their newest San Francisco location in Nopa. From crisp lagers to bold IPAs, every beer is righteously brewed in San Francisco. Grab a pint, grab your crew, and make game day better at Laughing Monk Brewing. Righteously brewed in San Francisco.
Carpal tunnel syndrome. Heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Get ready for Jim Gaffigan and his Everything is Wonderful tour on June 13th and 14th at the Masonic. A 4th show was just added. Buy your tickets at livenation.com. And for a chance to win tickets to the 4 p.m. show courtesy of Live Nation, visit 957thegame.com.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
This is the story of the one.
As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco, on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Not bad, Pasta. Not bad at all.
Remember when Pasta first came into our lives? He was just this nice, quiet kid.
You make it seem like he was an embryo.
He's now blossomed into this bigger than life entity. It's like I feel like we're Frankenstein, because Frankenstein wasn't the name of the monster.
Yeah, he was the doctor.
He was the doctor.
Remember the first time I ever talked to you, Dan?
No.
It was before I started working here. You guys had me on as a guest.
Oh, that's right.
Really? You had Pasta on to talk Giants?
And I had no idea. I thought like risotto. This is when me and Shamari Block were doing shows.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember the producer, whoever it was at the time, said, hey, we got this guy, Steven Risotto. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Risotto, let's go. Come on.
Covered the Giants for SF Bay?
We talked the Giants. Had I known he was a sophomore in high school, I would have said, well, I'm not so sure about this. No, but he was... No, we just talked about this during the break, that you should do some more on-air stuff.
They had me on the roast before I started working here, too, with Bonte and Chasky. That was a stressful morning.
Well, I've come to find that, and this is, it just kind of slaps you in the face when you work with somebody and you don't realize, not necessarily what kind of level of fame that they carry, but there is a little bit of, this guy's got something brewing here. I have not, are you familiar with the RizzoCast, Pasta's podcast?
I am not.
I have come to find it's a pretty exclusive club. I mean, if you've been on the RizzoCast, you are somebody. And, he's gotten big names, he's gotten smaller names, but these people have a level of fame. Because I ran into somebody yesterday when I was doing the calling San Jose Giants game, and I ran into somebody, and I text Pasta. I said, hey, I met your boy, yada, yada. He seems cool. And he goes, yeah, he's been trying to get on the RizzoCast. And I'm like, Pasta, you can't throw this guy a bone? You don't have time in the day? I mean, he's working morning shifts now, so he's up at the crack ass of dawn. But you can't throw him a bone, Pasta?
He's been on before, I will say. He's been on before. He's a good friend of mine. And it's funny because there was one time I was covering a Giants game, and there was like 10 people in the building that have been on the podcast, maybe even 15. And it was like... there's a reunion of some sort. A team was getting honored, and then I saw who was there on social media, and I said hi to all of them, and they remember the podcast, so it's memorable.
What sort of listeners or followers are you getting on this thing?
Perlman.
So it's on YouTube,
numbers, yeah.
YouTube, and wherever you listen to your podcast. YouTube doesn't do big numbers, but wherever you listen, the audio versions usually get,
like on Spotify
200, 300 usually.
That's pretty good.
Spotify, but
That's good.
So are you, well, really quick, how often are you doing the show?
I haven't done one in a while. But
see, that's the key. If you're going to make money on YouTube, you've got to drop
There was a stretch
daily.
Yeah, I do 200. I've done almost 200 episodes, and I haven't done one in a few months, but I've been uploading archival clips on Instagram.
Yeah, he's done a pretty good job at rolling out different bits and pieces from old interviews to like populate the timeline. The one thing we got to do though, and I know we've talked about doing a Warriors This Week show, but it is, let's be honest, it's coming to an end. I think Saturday, if the Warriors get eliminated on Wednesday, next Saturday will be our last Warriors This Week, and we can do the eulogy. What we need to do is a live show of the RizzoCast at La Rocca's. That is going to be top of the list as far as to-dos this summer. Pasta, number one. Can Dan and I get on the RizzoCast?
Yes.
Do we have to talk baseball?
No.
Do we have to talk sports?
No.
I don't want to do anything where nobody's listening.
I've had people on that haven't talked
Well, you just
sports.
said that 200 or 300 people download it every single time.
200, 300 people. I'm not wasting my time.
We're not doing it live.
LeBrock is just drinking rather than talking to.
Well, we
50
can
people.
serve both masters. We can do it.
Why
at
can't we
LaRocca.
do this show at LaRocca's?
Because we can't drink when we're on the air.
Says who?
Says the FCC, I think.
Really? I
don't think you're allowed to drink on air.
Well, the pregame show for the Niners, kickoff show, would beg to differ.
Well, at Laughing
You
Monk,
just went Jan there on us.
first of all, at Laughing Monk Brewing, we do not drink while we're on the air. You have never seen anyone take a sip of alcohol, myself or the great Lorenzo Neal.
Does Lowe drink?
Yeah, of course.
All right, on.
Well, I don't want to say it like that, but yeah,
I don't trust anybody that does not drink. And I know Pasta doesn't drink a lot, but anybody who does not drink, I'm just a little leery of you.
Well, if you've had problems in the past, I understand.
That of course, yeah.
But yeah, if you're telling me, especially like if you're my age or if you're Pasta's age, and you're like, yeah, it's. I guess I just like, come on, throw one back.
Maybe not even drinking. Just have a vice. Everybody needs vices.
Well, no one's perfect.
Steve Garvey. Pasta, you'd appreciate that.
He's not perfect.
I know, but back in the day, he was Mr. Perfect.
He ruined that.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Glenn, who's in Fremont. He's been hanging on for a while, and I appreciate you doing so, Glenn. Good morning. Welcome to the program. What do you got?
Morning. Thank you. Yeah, a couple of things. First of all, you guys were talking about being an extra, I think, in Moneyball.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember, but they also filmed Angels in the Outfield probably in the early 90s with Danny Glover.
Good knowledge.
At the Coliseum. So I went to one of those, cattle calls that they needed extras. And I'm thinking, hey, maybe, somehow I'll get on the film. But it is basically just crowd scenes. And in fact, in the outfield, they just had cutouts. So it wasn't even full. So I think you mentioned Moneyball, maybe a couple hundred people. That's what it seemed like for this. They did sell hot dogs, but no beers or anything. So that's one thing I have. And then another that I just kind of thought of, what do you guys think of Bassey? I kind of like him. I know he's not playing against great competition, but I like how he kind of uses his body, and I'm just wondering if there's an opportunity for him to be on the team next year.
Thanks for the call, Glenn. Well, I think there is room for Bassey on the team next year. He might be taking Quentin Post's spot, but I don't think he's, again, it's like he's not a huge factor, but you need guys that are going to be out there, and he plays hard and might have earned himself. Maybe it's a two-way contract. Maybe it's a minimum deal. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if he's on the team.
There's nobody on this roster that excites me. Nobody, including him. And I've heard some people talk about, keep an eye on this guy, Bassey. He could be, the next Kevon Looney. It's just,
Well, he's played 3 games. It's like, and the team stinks. I don't know. To me, it's really, and this is something the Warriors are also going to run into, which it's really hard to evaluate talent when your team is bad because guys stand out on given nights when there's not a whole lot else going. It's like, does Bassey look good? Has he played good? Sure, I'll say that. He had a double-double against Sacramento on Tuesday. He's playing 25 to 30 minutes when Chris Stapps and Horford aren't out there. No, he looked like a guy who has been bouncing around the league. He looks like a Western Kentucky hilltopper, which I believe is where he went to college.
That game against the Lakers was unwatchable. Unwatchable.
Actually, we're a little bit different. I don't mind LeBron, and so anytime he plays, I feel like I.
Oh no, the Laker part of it. I'm just saying from
the
the Warriors
Warriors
standpoint,
yeah.
that was there was nothing that you could look at and say, well, at least Santos or that version of Santos and Spencer and Podziemski, where they were because they got so much dog in them, they would stay in every single game. Dog being a good thing, like they're so competitive that they would basically. Despite losing the majority of their games, they would, they'd always make a run. But this version was just like the Leons and just Cryer and just the even Bassey. I couldn't find any incentive as a Warrior fan to stay sort of involved or attached to that game.
Nullify Leons, he picked Bronny at midcourt.
That's probably the one thing that I enjoyed. Bronny's trash.
I'm kind of with you.
Bronny's trash.
I hate calling a professional athlete that, but he's He's just not very good.
And he seems like a great guy.
He seems like a great kid.
And you cannot tell me. And here's the problem when you appease and you placate stars like that. You cannot tell me that there isn't murmur or there isn't talk on that bench, whether it's LaRavia or whether it could be a star, whether it's
Nick Smith, who didn't play till the second half and hit 4 threes.
That they're not having beers and talking about, man, this ain't right. Because those spots, when you think about people around the world playing in Europe, let alone playing in the G League, playing in college, getting an opportunity to sit on a bench, being part of an NBA roster, and having that roster being the Los Angeles, putting on a Laker uniform, those spots, even for the players that don't play, are so cherished and are so valued that you just say, well, we got to make room for Thanasis, or we got to make room for, it's his kid, LeBron's kid. That has got to create serious backlash, because I'm a big fan of get the locker room right, make sure you get the culture right, and that throws a hammer into all of that. I know that there's players that are chirping that are probably have a friendship and a bond because of that. They get together and they probably talk about Bronny. Like, can you believe what it is he did tonight? He got picked at midcourt by Leons. Why is he here? Why is he playing? Like, it is not good for team when you have a token player like that.
Which is why next year when the Warriors sign LeBron, they'll bring in Bronny, they'll trade for Giannis, and they'll bring in Thanasis.
And I'm beginning to...
And they'll re-sign Seth.
I'm beginning to think Seth is a little like that, too.
Well, Seth has been in the league for a long time. He's always had a job.
And he shoots threes at a good clip.
Yes, Seth's a legitimate NBA player. It's kind of like the Damian Lee thing. I think a lot of people are like, oh, is he just on the team because he's Steph's, stepbrother? But he could play. Like Damian Lee could actually play.
It's his blood brother, isn't it?
Brother-in-law.
Or brother-in-law, sorry.
Oh, Damian Lee.
Yeah, Damian Lee, sorry
But
about
I'm talking
that.
about Seth as his...
Yes, no, Seth is just, they're blood. But Seth is, he's like a career 40-something% three-point shooter.
You hear what Steph talked about when they played for like a minute together they're on the court against the Lakers, right?
Yeah, it was a dream come true.
And he bundled a pass, Seth did. They got on like one time, he threw him a pass on a break and Seth completely bundled it and it went out of bounds. But did you hear what Steph said afterwards? Because I'm going to keep this thing going until, they literally stick me on an island and gag me and say, shut the hell up.
2 weeks.
So Steph said, well, the last time that we were on the floor together, and he named the high school in Charlotte. And he's like, it was like at Charlotte Christian. I'm making up a name here. It was the last time we were on the floor. I was a senior and he was a sophomore. I was a senior and he was a junior. You know what that tells me? That he's still reminiscing about Charlotte. He's still thinking about high school.
You
he
are
still cherishes those moments, man. So let me ask you this.
No.
Do you think Steph, has it danced in his head? Are you willing to... Is he recognizing what's going on in Charlotte in terms of the basketball team? And do you think just for a fleeting moment...
What is up with you and Charlotte?
Do you think for a fleeting moment he said, playing there for a year or two? Like, even though if it doesn't come to fruition, even though it's not something he would say publicly, and even though he ends his career with the Warriors, do you not think that he's at least thought about it?
Well, of course he's thought about it, but I also...
Oh, really?
But I also think he's thought about if he had to play in a lot of places, not just Charlotte. I don't get what your fixation with Charlotte is.
Well, he's from Charlotte. If he's
has Draymond Green thought about playing for the Pistons?
Because he didn't grow up in Detroit. He grew up outside of Detroit. Like
Curry probably grew up in a she community, but outside of Charlotte.
His dad played at Charlotte. There's a familiarity there. There's a bond there. I think that him going home for the final 2 years is not beyond the realm of possibilities. Now, I don't think it's about the Warriors feeling as though they're disrespecting Steph. I think that has turned because Charlotte is now a good basketball team and is a good young basketball team, and he'd be a good fit.
They're a 9 seed.
But I don't think that the Warriors would be willing to move off on him. And that's simply because of dollars and cents. Well, and Lacob knows he's a cash cow.
Well, yeah, but I also think that if Curry wanted to leave, that's his choice. I mean, Curry's earned that by what he's done in the league. I think that Curry wants to retire a Warrior. This is something, too, that I also think gets lost about a lot of the...
If that's the case, then I got to break the bad news to him as Dan, the GM. Is like, God, I was hoping you would come along with me on this, but I'm sorry, you ain't retiring as a Warrior. We're moving you to Charlotte. So pack your bags. I just got 8 first-round picks for you.
You don't want to be the GM that trades Steph.
I want to be the GM to rebuild this thing.
Yeah, which is a job you won't have if you stink for a couple of years after you trade Curry. Because the one thing you can't do is get off a franchise player and then not deliver anything. Like, you're not going to get 5 years.
No, but but as a GM, you're a riverboat gambler, and you have got to take risk, and you got to take big risk.
Taking risks is how you lose your job.
Well, exactly, but it's also how you. It's also how you get back to relevancy as a dormant basketball team for a franchise that sits rock bottom. Is that you need to be bold.
Yeah,
and don't meddle. Don't go after the likes of a Kawhi Leonard or a LeBron James. The LeBron James thing is picking up steam, and you got to be kidding me.
Why not? Why not? I mean, seriously, like, why? Why not?
Are you serious right now?
If you don't like LeBron James, I get it. But we know where this thing is going next year. Don't we?
But why?
They're not going to tear this thing down to the studs this summer.
We just talked about the Titanic. If you can see the iceberg, why crash into it?
You've already hit the iceberg. The ship's going down. The ship is on its way to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. And so, you know what? I'll be the captain. What did you say? I'm going down with my ship.
Even though you have a lifesaver named Steph Curry that you can throw out to Charlotte?
You can only save so many people. You can only save so many, Dan. By the way, this is what I was going to say.
Hey, is Con Knippel the rookie of the year?
I don't know. Cooper Flagg's 50 and 45 in back-to-back games might have pushed him there. I would give it to Knippel. But
if there's a 30 for 30 or a documentary, man, that's got it written all over it. Like, those two dudes, they're boys, man. They're roommates at Duke. They're good friends. And now they're just, like, getting out. Like, make no bones about it. Cooper Flagg. And if anybody wants to tell me that postseason awards don't mean anything to NBA players, try again, man.
Well, that's why they're trying to amend the 65-game rule for Cade Cunningham.
But the problem is...
It means something because they can make more money. That's what really matters. In fact, I have a sneaking suspicion that one of the reasons why Draymond has been so locked in this year, or at least like trying to stay healthy and still play hard, is because he wants to make an all-defensive team. He wants to make his 10th all-defense team, which would put him in a category, I believe, with only Kareem, Kobe, Duncan. I think there's one more, but he would be the 5th guy to be on 10 all-NBA defensive teams. Because I think I don't know what else he's playing for at this point. I don't think he's really playing for a new contract. He's got 27.6 coming his way next year if he wants it. I think he has the option to rip it up and extend if he wants it or if the Warriors want to. I think Draymond has played so many games this season, in part because he sees the end of his career and he wants to make the most out of the games he has left, but also because I think making that 10th defensive team really means a lot to him.
But it's not incentivized by money. I thought you were going to go there. There was a clause that was going to kick in.
No. I don't think there's a clause, but I think like that's kind of what the Warriors' older guys are playing for at this point. They're not. They understand that this season is not about winning a championship. In fact, Draymond is probably looking at next year like, all right, maybe we can be all right, but we ain't jumping OKC. We ain't jumping the Spurs. So what am I playing for at this stage in my career? Are you playing for pride? Maybe. I think that each and every day, these guys are using different mechanisms to motivate themselves. And for Draymond specifically, I really do think that defensive team, which I believe is in his sights just because he's one of the few guys that's actually played 65 games, if he gets that 10th defensive team, I really don't know what else he's playing for.
It's interesting that you mentioned incentivizing players and that there's these financial clauses that kick in, because that's sort of the conspiracy out in Milwaukee. People are trying to get their arms around why doesn't Giannis not want to just sit this out? The dude's got the bad calves, and Giannis is so adamant that I want to play basketball for a team that's going nowhere. The Milwaukee Bucks stink, and they just want to shut him down for the final week of the season. But he's like, no, it's almost as though he's saying, it's not that I want to play, it's like I need to play. So there's a lot of people that are sort of pulling back the layers and are like, if Is there a contract deal that you got here that you're not telling us about? Because some things aren't adding up.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, apologies. So my theory, again, is that Draymond wants to make a 10th all-defense team. It's Duncan, Kobe, Garnett, Jabbar, and Pippen are the 5 players in the history of basketball. And I do think it means a lot to Draymond to be among that group, because I think Draymond's one of, if not the best defenders of his generation. He's certainly the most versatile one. But I think that because he's only got 1 DPOY, he does kind of get lost. You know, he doesn't have, obviously, as many as Gobert. I think Kawhi won 1 over him in the middle 2010s. And so this season,
Gets lost how? I still think he's regarded as one of the best defenders.
Well, one of the best, but I think he wants to be seen as like the best. And I think he's got a seat at that table. Certainly as one of the most versatile defensive players of all time. But having that distinction of having made 10 or more all-defense teams puts him in a group with other Hall of Famers, with other all-time defensive guys that Kawhi can't say, that Gobert can't say, that enter whoever else you think is in the conversation for this generation as a great defensive player. Nobody else can not put him in that group. And again, it's something that I also think that's Luka. I think it's something that's motivating him this year. I really do.
Yeah, I think it motivates him, but I also think that I'll say this about Draymond. He's a winner. And yeah, everybody at this stage, I get it. They have, personal goals, but I do think that, and most defensive guys are wired this way, is that he still wants to win. He's not somebody that is just hanging on so that he can get some accolade. Like, I think Draymond still wants to win. If he's going to suit up and get on the floor, he wants his team, first of all, to be competitive and playing the right way, and he also wants to beat the crap out of whoever it is he's playing, which is one of the, there's a lot of things I don't like about this dude, but I do think he's wired that way.
Well, I agree he wants to win, but again, you said it before, like, don't tell me that these guys don't understand where they are, statistically, accolades-wise. Like, don't tell me that they don't know this stuff.
Well, that's what I love about it.
Last night, Pods knew that he had 29 points when he went to the free throw line. It's why he was smiling when he missed the first one, because if he missed the second one, he would still be a player that had not scored 30 points in the NBA.
Not only him, the whole team, I think, was aware of it.
Yeah, Curry was talking about it after the game.
Yeah.
Like, they know. They know where they're at in a game, outside of a game.
How about that little dust-up with, was it Dylan Cardwell?
Oh, God.
How embarrassing was that?
It was embarrassing for both teams.
That just goes to show you how far we have fallen. Like, if that happened when the Warriors were good, the Warriors would have been sitting on the bench going, what the hell is this? But the fact that they started barking back at him, it was just like, God, this is embarrassing. You guys both suck.
Well, it was after, a jump ball with Melton, because they got kind of tangled up, and then after so-and-so ripped away the ball, maybe Melton had it, Cardwell went back to his bench, and he was,
No, not back to his bench, to the Warriors bench.
Oh, he was yelling?
Because it was right in front of the Warriors bench where he was wrestling with a basketball with DeAnthony Melton, pulled it away from DeAnthony Melton, and then looked at the Warriors bench and essentially flexed and started barking.
And then after he turned it over, was it the next possession?
He lost the jump ball to DeAnthony. It was a jump ball, and so he lost it to DeAnthony Melton, and then Al Horford hit a 3.
That's right. And then the whole bench started barking at him.
I watched that crap.
It's like, dude.
What did Jack Nicholson once say? I'd rather stick needles in my eye than watch the Warriors and the Kings ever again.
Well, you're going to see him next season. You're going to see him next season. 888-957-9570 is the number. One more segment coming up here on Warriors This Week. Dan Devone, Evan Giddings. We'll be back after this on 95.7 The Game.
Let's go, San Francisco.
As Pittsburgh prepares for the unofficial beginning of football season, the city's kickoff celebration will begin with an unforgettable invite-only night of music. The night before takes place Wednesday, April 22nd at Rivers Casino Event Center, featuring Jason Aldean, John Morgan, and Shane Profit. Visit Odyssey.com/the night before to enter now for your chance to win this national contest. Prize includes round-trip airfare, a 2-night hotel stay, and 2 tickets to the show.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
All right, I need avocados, bananas, salad, steak.
Wow, does your grocery list have multiple pages?
No, but I skipped lunch, so now it's like my stomach is doing the grocery shopping. And besides, I'm earning cash back with Upside.
Upside? What's that?
Hold up, you haven't heard of it? Upside is a free app that gets you cash back when you shop at gas stations, grocery stores, and restaurants. And they added Lucky and Food Max stores, so we're pretty much covered wherever we go.
All those stores?
Yep, so not only are we getting a great deal on groceries, now we can earn cash back as well.
Okay, downloading Upside. Now let me copy your grocery list.
Great news! Lucky and Food Max are now on Upside. Download the Upside app and use the promo code SAVE9 to earn a 10% cashback bonus on your first grocery purchase. That's promo code SAVE9 for a 10% cashback bonus. Use promo code SAVE9.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote.
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
Hey, life doesn't give you a warning when everything changes. It starts with shock, confusion, and 1,000 questions running through your mind. Maybe it's a car accident, a serious injury, or a tragedy that changes your family forever. Suddenly, you're dealing with insurance companies' paperwork and pressure, all while trying to heal. That's where Beam Law comes in. They take on the legal fight, the negotiations, and the stress so you can focus on recovery and taking care of the people who matter most. Beam Law is local, and they've recovered millions for clients across the region. That's why SF Weekly has named them Best of the Bay 4 times. So if you've been hurt or lost someone because of someone else's negligence, call Beam Law at 415-523-5555, 415-523-5555. That's 415-523-5555, or visit hurtinthebay.com. That's hurtinthebay.com, because it's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get back up. Beam Law, they've got your back, Bay Area.
All guests on 95.7 The Game appear on the River Islands guest line.
Dub Nation, this is Jimmy Butler, and you never know when I'll be on the River Islands guest line.
Dub Nation, this is Stephen Curry, and you never know when I'll be on the River Islands guest line. So make sure to keep it locked on 95.7 The Game.
River Islands in Lathrop is the best-selling master plan community in all of Northern California. With its lakes, parks, trails, and collection of new home neighborhoods, the good life can be your life. Isn't it time for you to discover the islands?
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-708-5977. 800-708-5977. 800-708-5977.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Joey from Vermont, a farmer trying to get through the winter. Adriana from South Carolina, a single mother living paycheck to paycheck. Liam from Ohio, an injured father struggling to provide for his family. Hi, I'm Shanola Hampton. And I support the Feeding America network of food banks because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature-Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
The 2026 Mountain Winery concert season is here, with performances by Dana Carvey and David Spade in June, Trevor Noah in July, and many more. To see the 2026 schedule and a chance to win tickets to one of the shows, courtesy of Mountain Winery, visit 957thegame.com.
Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
All right, Dan Devone's finishing up his putts. He's in the back room here, getting set with some of the clubs that have been left in the office. This is what we do on a Saturday.
I got the Masters golf bug.
You got the golf bug in general. Now, you told me your clubs are in Hawaii?
Yeah, my cousins. I got a cousin named Tubby, and he's a really thin guy.
That's his name?
Yeah.
His real name is Tubby?
No, it's Jonathan.
Like Tubby Smith?
Call him Tubbs. You don't get into the Masters? You're not one of those that...
Well, I have to work this weekend. I mean, I wouldn't mind sitting down and watching. You know, like Carter Chickering, he talks about this weekend as being his favorite weekend in sports. And, like, if I could go plop down at a bar or, you know, he's been talking about going to the Olympic Club. Like, I would do that. I would go and watch some golf.
So I saw something, and I don't do social media, but occasionally I giggle. And I saw something on my Instagram feed where... And you
gotta follow me back, by the way.
AI is AI. Like sometimes you have no idea that AI is about to infiltrate what it is you're watching this video. And so it's this video of people at the Masters, and they're sitting around, and they're like at the 15th, and they're in the gallery, and they're drinking beers, and somebody says, and they're looking at the pristine, hole. I think they're waiting for you guys to putt, and somebody says, "Hey, where's Tiger?" And you just think it's a real video, and all of a sudden, on the course comes this SUV. Have you seen this? This SUV comes flying in and starts tumbling, and they're like, "Oh, he's here." Oh boy,
people need help, man.
I feel sorry for Tiger, man.
Yeah, I don't.
The pain that dude's living in.
There are better ways to deal with.
He shouldn't be driving. I get it.
Yeah, like. Hire a driver.
I don't understand that.
I really don't. It'd be different if this hadn't happened more than once over the last 20 years. I mean, the mugshots look exactly the same from 2007 to 2026. He's got some stuff he's got to deal with.
Did you hear the reason why he doesn't want to stop driving?
Why?
Because he said he values his privacy and he doesn't want people to know where he is.
I can understand that. I was just about to say, that's like the one sort of, the one outlet you have is to get in your car, be by yourself, turn on your tunes, and go wherever it is that you go.
Yeah, so how about we do that without taking copious amounts of drugs?
Well,
alcohol.
I think that's just sort of incorporated in his daily life.
Yeah, and I understand that, but the issue is it's not about you. Like when you get on the road, you put other people in danger when you're inebriated. It's not about about being a danger to yourself. I mean, it is, but it's more to me about potentially harming others. You
know what, really quick before we get off of Tiger, I remember shout out to the greatest who's ever done this, and that being Ray Ratto. And I remember when I was in San Francisco, I wasn't living in San Francisco, and I happened to be in my car, and I don't know who he was with. Maybe it was 95.7 The Game. And he said, this is this is way back in like 2009. When Tiger was the king of golf. He owned golf. This was Tiger and everybody else. Like if Tiger was in the hunt on Sunday, remember that? He would just intimidate the rest of the field. And so this is before he had ever gone under the knife. And only Ray Ratto could say, and I remember this distinctly, he said, that guy's swing is so vicious and he has so much torque that I would keep an eye out for back problems and back issues as his career goes along. He says that's the only thing that can prevent him getting for where it is he wants to go in terms of walking down Jack Nicklaus. And sure enough, 9 back surgeries later.
No, that's a hell of a call by Ray. He's one of the best, one of the smartest. There was something I was going to bring up, and now you got me thrown. It wasn't about golf. Oh,
of course it wasn't. It certainly wasn't about the Warriors of the NBA.
No, it wasn't about that either. come on now. What do you think I am? No, it was about, maybe it was like the viewing experience of sports. So, because I do think that, like, I would sit down and watch the Masters. Watching the NBA this year has just been absolutely brutal. I mean, if you really want to know what it's like to try and track an NBA season, if you have the opportunity, go talk to any beat writer that covers an individual team, even some of them that cover like great teams. And if you, I don't know, maybe DM them on Twitter, email them. A lot of these guys are kind enough to get back to you, and women as well. Just ask them what it's been like to watch the NBA this season, because they have to cover all 82 games, or the majority of them. And I swear to God, every time I've seen a few of them, whether they're from the Lakers or OKC or Sacramento, they're just like, this has been the longest season of all time. So you know what? Based on having watched a ton of crap basketball this year, the Masters, that sounds lovely.
Yeah, but
Dan.
watching golf sucks. I mean, even though I do it. You know the one thing I can't get into the Masters? It's the history.
I'll watch Sunday.
And it's the pageantry. I'll watch Sunday too. And I like the Masters. I've got the bug. I want to go play golf. You saw me during the breaks, man. I want to get out there. And so I just can't go there when people get emotional. Walking up the 18th and, a tear comes to my eye every year when I think about this great place and everything. Hey, dude, come on. You're a bunch of middle-aged white dudes who sit in a country club.
No, but I do think it's getting a little more loose. Like, did you see and this is what I am here for. Did you see that guy McIntyre in the first round?
No.
So he fell apart on, I think it was the 6th hole, and he ended up quadruple bogeying the hole. But he's taken this approach shot from, I don't know, like 130. Tough little hole, and there's a pond right in front of the green. So he leaves it short. It goes right into the drink. And I don't know who was broadcasting. It was a woman, and she had this great line, which is, well, that pond was a window, and it looked like glass until that ball went right in. Like, it just looked like a piece of glass until he put a ball through the window. And as the guy is walking off the green, he just subtly flips off the green. He gives the bird to the hole.
I like that.
I think he ended up getting
need more of that.
He ended up getting docked, but
That's all right.
like,
bring it back home, man.
I understand.
Make it identifiable.
You can't do everything with like it's the Ryder Cup and be all expressive. I understand that, but that little moment of true human emotion, I'm like, I know exactly what that feels like.
You know what the Masters needs, or what the tour needs? J.R. Smith. Is he still pursuing a professional golf career?
Well, I know he was competing for, was it North Carolina A&T?
Did he go back to college?
Well, he never went to college.
Yeah.
He was a high school guy, so he had 4 years of eligibility, and he was on the golf team.
He needs to be on the tour. I want to see him on the Masters with his shirt off, all tatted with his boys. Then I'll be like, okay.
He's on the roster.
Yeah, North Carolina A&T.
Right on, man.
He's still on the team?
Smith.
He's still on the team?
He's got like a profile, like a college profile on the roster, and it looks like he's still on the team 2025, 2026.
He's granted 4 years of eligibility by the NCAA in 2021. Wow. He's nice. I mean, he's a good golfer.
I want to see him be the pioneer to open up that whole door of an audience that is unbeknownst to the PGA as of right now.
Well, but the reality is a lot of these guys are athletes that are good golfers or even great golfers. They ain't doing nothing on the tour. I mean, these guys are so damn good.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
You take the best NBA golfer. I think the guy with the lowest handicap, I think is Reeves. Austin Reeves is like a 1.
Better than Steph.
About there. Yeah, Steph is, I'll look it up real fast, but I checked this a couple weeks ago. I think Austin Reeves has the best handicap in the NBA. And he's basically a scratch golfer. Okay, so you're like in the top 150.
Yeah.
You're barely cracking the field. Yeah, you're not better than these pros.
So I don't know anything about golf, but I have J.R. Smith, what he shot on March 30th with the college. So you guys are going to have to translate this. I don't know what it means.
So is he matriculated? Is he sitting in class?
It says he's a senior. So
I love this guy.
So 80, 87, 77, 244. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's not very good. I mean, it's good, all things being relative. Hell, I would give an arm to shoot that, but if he wants to get on the tour, shooting 87s ain't going to happen, man.
No, you can play with me, though. Yeah, Curry's handicap hovers between a 1 and a 2. Reeves is about a 1.8. That's ridiculous, man.
If you ever go to a tournament and watch these guys play, like go to the Masters, go to the PGA, go to the U.S. Open, you know what to do the minute they finish a round? Before they go to the press, they get to the 18th, they finish a round, they go right out to the driving range, and they hit on the shots that they needed to improve on the 18th. They immediately, it's like a player going into the batting cage. Like, this is all they do. Like, you got to remember that. Like, we play on the weekends. We play once a month, once a year, or you play during the off season. If you're an NBA basketball player, they do this every single day. And then when they finish a round, I guarantee, in the Masters, they go straight to the driving range. And you can learn so much if you ever watch them in the driving range because they're so effortless. Like, we always are, like, grinding every shot, like, squeezing the hell out of it. They're just, like, so effortless.
Well, I think we forget a lot that these sports are their jobs. And obviously you're mixing business with pleasure because you love playing the sport. In fact, I think that's why Curry's playing right now is because he loves playing basketball. And I'm sure he missed it being out for 2 months. But they are so dialed in and connected to these professions that they have given their entire lives to that when you watch them practice, I mean, seriously, if you have a chance, and I know that not everybody can get to a game early, but just go watch if there's a shooter on the Warriors, or it could be Curry, but if you go watch a shooter for another team that's in town, like, I don't know, the Cavs were just here, like Max Strus, you go watch him warm up, he's a shooter. These dudes don't miss.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And they're taking all kinds of shots, pull-ups, off the dribble, shots that they probably are not even going to take in a game.
Yeah.
But in the possibility that they have to, they have made hundreds, if not thousands, of shots just like that over their lifetime in preparation for taking one in a game.
Hey, I got a boys trip for us.
All right, let's do it. Pasta, you ready?
Maybe you can get Carter, Pasta. I'm in all seriousness. Yeah. I've always wanted to do this. I've never done it. I would love to go to Tahoe for that celebrity tournament.
Oh.
Because it's Tahoe.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, can you have Steph or someone from the Warriors get us like tickets or something like, I mean, just like set us up? Because Steph is obviously a big part of it.
The likelier outcome would be us being able to get like press passes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I forgot.
Although I don't know if that tournament is as big as it used to be. I'd have to ask.
No, I don't care about. No, it's not. But I'd rather see Barkley going out there, whoever's doing their thing. And
I think Kelsey's been there the last couple of years. No, Steph's always out there
for that very reason. It's just lax and people are drinking. It's Tahoe. I'd be into that tourney.
Yeah, that I'd love to go see. And
I've never been.
Me neither. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I'm from here. I grew up in El Cerrito, live in the city now, not San Fran, not Frisco, the city.
So you should. Can I just rephrase what it is you just said? Just say, I live in San Francisco.
I live in the city.
Yeah. Or just, trim the fat. Don't mention El Cerrito or Emeryville. I thought you were from Emeryville. Keeps changing.
Don't put Emeryville in my mouth.
Wasn't he selling us on Emeryville Super Bowl Sunday?
No, it's always been El Cerrito to me.
Well,
what's in Emeryville?
I got the
not Emeryville.
The Tokyo Market.
Bay Street.
Bay Street's
in Emeryville. Well, we were doing a live show there, so
well, you were telling me how nice it was.
Up. Well, it is nice. I mean, it's they got the brand new Tokyo Market there that I really wanted to see.
Yeah.
That I used to make that beautiful bowl of ramen that I showed you last night.
Oh, I thought you were going to say where you made that beautiful live shot for about 30 seconds because we cut you off.
Well, you didn't even get me on.
Oh, you didn't go on?
No, you brought me on after your boy.
Yeah.
And I was like, Pasta picks up the phone. He's like, yeah, so we got about 4 minutes. Just have fun with Dan at the end of the show. No, Emeryville's fine. No, there's a lot of cool places.
So you've never been to Tahoe is where you're going?
I've never been to Tahoe in the summer.
Oh.
I've only been in the winter because I used to be able to ski pretty well.
Yeah.
I can still ski all right. I can get down. I went a couple years ago, and I hadn't skied in like 10 years. And by the end of the day, I was able to I got down one black diamond. And I was pretty worried, to be honest. But yeah, I can ski. I've never been in the summer, though. Like everyone, and this is where I feel like I've missed out because all my friends, especially, here in San Francisco, a lot of transplants, people from out of town, and they talk about going up to Tahoe. The majority of them are talking about the summer.
Yeah.
They're going to get absolutely wrecked on a booze boat or something like that and maybe hit a casino or two or something. Like, I've never done that. I've only been during the winter.
I have, but it's been so long. I would love to go up there and watch the tournament and do that.
That'd be fun. But you want to know, honestly, like the place that I really feel like is a reason why I've never been to a lot of summer, never been to the Caribbean or a lot of these islands, is because I've been to Hawaii quite a bit.
Right on, man.
And when you go to Hawaii, it's
Yeah.
like, I don't need to go anywhere else.
Exactly.
I don't need to get to San Juan. I don't need to get to the Bahamas. I mean, I'd like to go, obviously, but it's like,
hey, well put. Hey,
Yeah.
what do we do about the Warriors? Are they going to win against the Clippers?
No. Well,
you don't give them a shot?
I mean, I give them a shot, but I mean, seriously, you watch a game. Well, are we talking about tomorrow or are we talking about the play-in?
No, I'm talking about who the hell cares?
I think they can win tomorrow.
Yeah, well.
But even so, neither team, and this is the other part about tomorrow, which sucks. You backtrack 365 days.
Yeah, remember that?
The Warriors are playing the Clippers on national television for the 6th seed. And that was a great basketball game. Tomorrow, because
Jonathan Kuminga, by the way, did not play.
Okay.
Remember that? Well, it was sort of the beginning of the end. It was like, whoa, we're DMPing Jonathan Kuminga.
I think
and then
he got DMP'd
DMP'd
before that.
He got DMP'd throughout. But here's such a big game, and you've got, like, I don't want to relitigate this, but that was sort of like what jumped out at me.
Don't do that.
And then he didn't play in the playoffs.
No, he did against Minnesota.
Yeah, because he had to.
Yeah, but he played. So you got what you wanted.
Do you want to play Atlanta in the first round? Hell no.
Who am I? Who am I right now? If I am, Cleveland? Oh, let's do this.
Oh, yeah. Well, Cleveland's handled them pretty well.
I'll take Cleveland. How about that?
Yeah,
you want Atlanta?
Well, I like Atlanta, but the one thing Atlanta can't do is they can't match size and size. So Mobley and those boys, Allen, they're a handful for Atlanta because Atlanta's got wings, right? But they don't got centers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they'll get smoked, but I think that Cleveland would win the series probably in 6. But next year, Atlanta, let's say they go get some size, maybe they bring in a real point guard. That's a team that's going to have action for sure.
I think there's a lot of things up for grab, though. Would I be surprised if Atlanta gets? No.
Well, and this is the frustrating part to me is the NBA in the regular season has turned into somewhat of a joke, I think because there's been more focus on tanking than the actual good teams. But I am legitimately excited for the playoffs. Even if the Warriors are not involved, which I don't give them a great chance to get out of 2 games. But the Western Conference, like you could have a second round.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt because when you get to the postseason, especially years like this, you don't have to deal with tanking anymore. It's like everybody wants to win games, and they're competitive teams. It should be more of that during the regular season, but the tanking component's gone.
And I think there's not, outside of OKC, I don't think there's a clear favorite. In the East, Boston-Detroit would be a hell of a series. Right now, you could have a second-round series that is Detroit-Cleveland, which they played last year, Boston-New York in the East, and in the West, if the seeds hold, it would be San Antonio versus Denver in the second round, and OKC, I've probably given the nod to Houston over the Lakers just because they're depleted. But OKC-Houston, that's going to be a physical series too.
I was thinking about Houston the other day. Kevin Durant is just too immature to ever win a title.
Well, he's won 2.
No, I mean to win a title. To win a title post Golden State, to do it on his own. I know he says he's not a leader, but the burners, like what he did this year at the All-Star break, using a burner to go after his teammates, like there's too much of that. Like Kevin Durant, great basketball player, but I think he's just too immature to ever win a title unless he's surrounded by people who can keep him in check, and that's not the case out there in Houston. Well, he's just an immature guy. And I think that
he's still a hooper, though.
Oh, hell yes.
He's going to play like almost 80 games this year. I mean, he's He's still playing really well. I think he's probably a little too old for me to be the number one on a championship team. I also think once he tore his Achilles, his defense kind of took a step back. But
I don't have issues with his game. Oh, hey, what about Dylan Brooks? Since we're going around the NBA, he is the man.
He is.
Did you hear what he's saying before the playoffs? You don't want to.
His image has done such a 180 having gone from Memphis to Phoenix.
Well, I think he's the same guy.
Well, no, he is, but I'm saying people used to look at him as this, and he is kind of Dylan the villain, which, by the way, so have you seen the movie GOAT, the Steph Curry film?
I have not.
So in the movie GOAT, there's the antagonist, and the antagonist has the same haircut and kind of similar physical features to Dylan Brooks, and is basically based on
he has
him.
a rat tail, doesn't he?
Yeah, two of them. But yeah, he's Dylan the villain. But this year, because of how much he's had to really step up, and I know he was hurt too, but I think his image is changed from being just a bad guy to, well, you may hate him, but you're going to love him if he's on your team.
Yeah, he's saying we're the monster under the bed. Like, you don't want to play the Phoenix Suns. Like, I love this.
I've heard he's actually pretty cool in person,
He's
too.
supposed to be the nicest guy in the world and the best teammate.
Yeah, but if you're playing against him, he hates you and you hate him.
Wait, I'm going to find this.
Little Draymond Greenish. Yeah, I think
this is so good because you know what he is. He's like He reminds me of the WWE. This is it. So Dylan Brooks,
they're going to steal a couple games from the Spurs, by the way.
He says the Phoenix Suns and the playoff prospects. This is what he says. We're your worst nightmare and a monster under the bed. You do not want to play us. I love that, man. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to the postseason.
And that's where, unfortunately, the Warriors are going to miss the boat. But it's still going to be an entertaining playoff, so I'm going to watch. I won't be as dialed in because I got to unplug a little bit after this season. But I'm looking forward to a highly competitive Western Conference playoffs. I mean, I think the Warriors are also going to play hard in the play-in game. I just don't think at this point they're good enough.
If they can beat either, well, they're playing LA, not Portland. They can beat LA. I just don't think you can beat LA and Portland. And even if you do, it's just like, again,
think about it. So you play Wednesday for the play-in. If you win, you go another road game on Friday. And if you win that Friday game, you play Sunday. So you're essentially going to have to play, if you stretched out a first-round series, you're going to have to play 9 games in 17 days.
Here's the one thing I would throw out there if I was going to throw a bone to Warrior fans and Dub Nation is that you never know. I know that this is, it's I know, but when I say you never know, I mean that more along the lines of injuries. Like, I don't wish anything bad to OKC, but when you think about Therese Halliburton, when you think about what's happened to players in the past, especially in the postseason, sometimes weird things happen and doors open that you never thought would be there.
No doubt. Well, that'll do it for this edition of Warriors This Week.
Why did he go dark all of a sudden?
Wait, who, me?
No, like Passa's room. Suddenly,
we got automatic lights back here, and I guess I haven't moved in a while.
He's just been playing sloth back in the producer studio the entire time. There's the lights.
I turned to the back to my left, and the lights are off. I can't see him.
Well, we're going to get Pasta a new Rockies hat for our gaffe earlier in the show about the Queen and the King.
I don't need anything.
Steven Risotto, everybody.
Good, because I was going to buy it for you anyways.
I'll get you one of the giveaways, Pasta. How about that?
That was, your boy Evan's mistake, not mine.
The Queen's rolling over in her grave.
All right, gentlemen. Same time next week. Potentially the last Warriors this week if the Warriors lose on Wednesday in the play-in.
We got another month of this. Come on. Bye, Felisa.
All right. Everyone take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your weekend Saturday. For Dan Devone, for Steven Risotto, my name is Evan Giddings. We'll talk to you next time on 95.7 The Game.
This is Dan Devone saying, so long, everybody.
As Pittsburgh prepares for the unofficial beginning of football season, the city's kickoff celebration will begin with an unforgettable invite-only night of music. The night before takes place Wednesday, April 22nd at Rivers Casino Event Center, featuring Jason Aldean, John Morgan, and Shane Profit. Visit Odyssey.com/the night before to enter now for your chance to win this